which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar, along with Elder Lawyer. I just want to make sure you can see and hear us clearly on this profound prophetic Sabbath. Everything is good? Is it too warm in here? Good. Okay. You all can see and hear us? There's so many things I would need to cover today. First of all, I hope you all are in good spirits. I pray that the Most High will keep his hedge over the children of Israel as we go through this prophetic time. Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble. Shalom, Elder Dell. Now, there's a lot of reporting I'm going to do today. That we're going to do today, along with bringing forth understanding according to the word, so that our brothers and sisters can understand that this is the time that the Most High, that Christ prophesied, in which the children of Israel and those who are in Christ, who are Israel, would go into serious tribulation before deliverance. The tribulation before deliverance. So there's a lot we're going to go into, but first we're going to delve into the reports, real-time reports, and resolving what's really going on this Sabbath with the coronavirus. We're still on that, but as you know, it's fluid, and we must give you the reports as they come in. And tell you how to prepare, or show you as much as we can how to prepare through these times, okay? And right now, hey, it's a good time to know the truth, right? It's a beautiful time to have your eyes wide open. Also, I'll be having some announcements concerning as far as, gathering and the places that we'll actually be coming to this year, as well as we're setting up closed circuit web interactions throughout all of Africa for those who've been following us in Africa so that they can be in the know. And I'm going to report that afterwards, as well as those who have been in our Friday evenings class. We have a Friday evening class for those who don't have a local body, okay? These are the brothers and sisters that we're going to coordinate with to make sure they set up a closed circuit area in their particular city to be guided by the elders, from a distance until we send an elder or deacon in that specific area. So these are the trusted members and those who have been following the church since its inception almost, but don't have a local body. Well, you'll be in our local conversations, our local plannings, and our local teachings, okay, every Friday until it's established there. And we're going to have reports on how you can be a part of that, mainly those who are already connected with the body and have been consistent in learning with the body, okay? So I'm going to talk about that at the end of this, but hold on, let me cut this off. All right. Now, a lot of people are asking me about what are the migration things and all that, but I'm going to leave that alone until a later date. Right now, we're going to keep things current. Okay. Again, this is real-time reporting, so even if you don't follow the church, you can still take heed from some of the information that we're bringing forth to actually protect and help your family through this. Whether you believe us or not, whether you follow us or not, or whether you're a part of the church or not, it's of no concern. Okay, as far as we're just here as messengers to give you the details, and you take from it what's useful for your household. Okay. Before the lesson, before the conversation began, and I'm going to open it up for questions subsequent to this. Okay. Let's start it off with the weekly Hebrew Credo. Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Shema Yasha'Allah Ahaya Allahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad.
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 Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Okay? It seems as if this whole lesson is really going to be an update, a news report on what's going on in the earth from a prophetic biblical perspective. Okay? Now, as you know, the whole earth is up, as they claim, in an emergency preparedness due to the quote-unquote coronavirus. But we know it's way more than what they're reporting. Okay? We're not saying that the coronavirus doesn't exist because it's been on the back of our Lysol bottles, cans, for decades. But we know that that particular virus is patent, which means it was made in a laboratory. Okay. Now it was a natural virus that came from some type of cross-contamination between animals and people. There is an original disease that came from that. But the mad scientists of this world thought that they would use that by going into the laboratory with a dead animal or whatever, a person who had the virus, and mimic it genetically to make what we call a patent killer. Okay? So coronavirus does exist, but so does the cold, so does the flu. Okay? So more so based on what the doctors are saying, this is like having a serious flu. And for those who have compromised immune systems, okay, keep in mind that 9 times out of 10, if you have a compromised immunity and respiratory issues or immune issues or sicknesses already, this thing can mean something deadly for those with pre-existing health conditions. That's not me talking. This is the reports, right? So what I would do is give you some media insight so that you're not saying it's giving you my opinion or whatever the case is. And we're going to show you some data that's out there that you can actually draw from to see whether or not this thing is as threatening as all the emergency preparation. Is all this emergency preparation called for because of the coronavirus? And I'm going to give you data that's out there so that you can make that decision. All in all, what I want to say even beforehand, because people need to know exactly what to do right now. Okay? People need to know what to do right now. So, make sure you have food, excess water, and usually in these situations, because they've given it a 2-week buffer throughout all of this, to give us a report, the world report, on whether or not things will go back to normal. Okay, they're giving us 2 weeks, 10 to 14 days, shutting everything down for 10 to 14 days. Right? So keep in mind, they're preparing something beyond that 14 days. Whether it goes back to normalcy, as we know it, or a depression, leading to a depression like this earth, like America has never seen. Right now, you're experiencing and you're seeing anomalous things within our society right now that's unheard and have never been heard of or seen through our lifetime. Right now, we are experiencing that. So, just for the survival type stuff. Usually after there's a run on food, there's a run on gasoline. Now, some people out there may feel confident seeing that the stock market leveled off a little bit yesterday, who look at the stocks as a barometer instead of prophecy, instead of God's prophecy, to make a decision on what they're going to do. But that's how the Gentiles procrastinate or plan. The Gentiles look at the stock market to how to prep or whatever the case is, but that can only sustain you but so much. So a lot of people are looking at the fact that it went back up 2,000 some odd points and the stock market leveled off. Well, what happens when you have an international crisis and your president gets on TV and says everything is shut down and we're in a state of an emergency? Well, automatically people go out and begin to buy in large number. So that's an artificial propping up of the stocks to make you believe things are leveled off, but people are spending in the economy, not, in this unleveled economy, not knowing what will happen beyond this 2 weeks. So automatically there was a financial stimulus in the stock market due to people going out and clearing off the shelves everywhere. So you can't just look at that as a barometer of stability. That's how the Gentiles plan. So just because there was a level off in the stocks, don't believe that everything is going to be fine. I'm not here to panic and say it won't be. But based on what they're putting in place, This world, including America, will never be the same again. When if they open up the schools, they're gonna be opening up the schools under new laws. Mm-hmm. By the time you go back to your job, if you go back to your job, it's going to be new laws implemented on how you can execute and operate or function in that position. Okay? Now that's from, the worldly perspective. I wanted to put that out there first. Keep in mind, food, water, and make sure you have an excess of gasoline. And keep it in a dry, clear place, clean place where it won't combust. It's very combustible. Make sure it's a dry, clear place in which you can have access to in due time. Because usually when these situations happen, wartime, and that's what time we're in, there's a run on gasoline. The gas, they strike something over in the Middle East, the gas prices hike up, and then there's a ration on gasoline. And your car, I don't care how nice it is, it means absolutely nothing if there's no oil in the tank. So you want to be in front of these things. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be the one that's looking to scramble while your child's somewhere that you can't get to your child. Okay? And all that. Whatever you plan for now. Now, keep in mind, whatever you plan for now is all you'll have. Also keep in mind, folks, when it comes to this, you're only planning so that you're not out amongst the chaos. Knowing that the Most High will give you space to plan while everyone else is running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Mm-hmm. So you can plan, you can sit back because okay, I got a ration of food for 2-3 weeks. I got a 2 to 3 week window to get out of here and leave all this stuff, but at least I'm not out there. How long have we been saying this, brothers and sisters? How long? Let me tell you, what's a shame in all of this is that it's like the Most High said, man, our people are stiff-necked. They're hard-headed. They're hard-headed. Every other nation been prepping just by viewing the stock markets and understanding how the world economy affects their daily living. And that's from a Gentile standpoint. They know that there was a change coming in the air. Drove through North Philly yesterday. Because in the midst of that, I understand we have children in the church and whatever who's going to need, when all this stuff go down, they're going to need medicine. They're going to need albuterol. They're going to need different types of machines if they got asthma. So I had to go and get some of all this stuff to make sure that even people in the church or children that are dealing with issues could at least, not have to go to the emergency room if that happened. Sometimes if you're an asthmatic or you're dealing with issues, they put you on that nebulizer and you're good. 1 or 2 takes of that nebulizer. So I went to North Philly and I went there to grab some of that stuff to make sure that I have some excess stuff to help others. And what happens? Nice day. And I'm looking around. It's me and Elder Gabar. It's almost like in slow motion. I'm looking around. Brothers is popping woolies. Right past the cops on Lehigh Avenue. Everyone is out. It's Corona ain't affecting no one, but they're out there totally ignorant to the times we're in right now. No one preparing anything. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, if only our people listen. How long we been prophesying on the streets? How long we been saying, come back to the Most High? Sisters with an opportunity to wear the tightest things, walking around outside as if everything normal. It's as if the same thing that happens during every springtime when a little sun happens. Everything was normal. And it was more so a celebration, not having to go to school. People are off, and I'm looking around. I'm like, man, it's just like the days of Noah when they were marrying, giving in the marriage, and then it rained. But you know what? The Bible says it's time for fishing, then it's time for hunting. Now, the hunting happens against those who didn't listen. The Most High made us fishers of men. Now, those who didn't listen are at the behest of the world and the hunters and the prophecies concerning the judgment against sin. So here we are. And I had a meeting with the elders last night. All of them. And say, well, this is what we're going to do. We have further meetings on things that we're going to do. Some things I can say, some things I can't express here right now, but we had a private meeting. And it's more so time to focus inwardly on the people who are within the church. Make sure they have what they need. They're baptized, they've sacrificed themselves as far as leaving the world and looking to do what's right. They must take priority. So we had to make a list of priority even within our church. Those who are dedicated, those who be there all the time, those who have held the fort. And then I'm saying, okay, that's one plan but there's still a little fishing to do. There's a lot of people who just didn't have the opportunity living in places in which we don't have a church there. Boom. Well, we don't have an opportunity to just go, we're only 2 or 3 people, 4 people. And sometimes you set up people who are unlearned, that thing will go totally haywire. You see what happened with that madness over in Australia where someone was set up and was left to his own vices because he wasn't led directly under me. I didn't even know the guy. Everybody look at YouTube and they say, yeah, I want to set up a chapter here and I want to help there. And they don't know anything. So I said, you know what we'll do? We'll set up the closed circuits in all these areas. A place where everyone can go, anyone can go in their city or in proximity a few hours to learn directly from us and get directed from us all the way to the water. Therefore, now we can be in more than one place in one time. And instead of having a plane here and just set, we don't have time for that. Based on what's going on now, they've expedited everything. Now, we still have the churches set up in other areas, Europe and different places like that, for refuge. Even in the East, for refuge. We still have those things that the Most High, while time allotted 10 years ago, that the Most High had us break down, fleeing and doing all that so that we can get to these people to set up a refuge. So the Most High put us ahead of the curve, 10 years ahead of the curve for this. Okay. Now, what I'm hoping, like I said, amongst the elders, that this is just more so a reset while they put the infrastructure in place for the military and all that, and give our society some more time to live any level of normalcy. That's what I'm hoping. But we have to plan as if in 2 weeks things will never go back the way it was. Okay? I wanted to put that out there first. Okay, but let me get you all up to date, okay, on the news that came out this morning and how the media have now drawn this report back. Okay? This morning there was a report that the governor of Chicago was declaring a martial law type of deal within Chicago. So we're going to start there, right? Let me get it. Now, this report originally came from Washington. Let me grab it here. The Washington Examiner let a premature cat out of the bag. That there was martial law declared in which Chicago would not be able to get firearms, ammunition, all alcohol sales terminated, indefinite until things change, and no gathering, clubs closed, everything was the report coming from the Washington Examiner this morning. But obviously, someone let the cat out of the bag earlier to a degree in which the Chicago Tribune had to reel back that story. But the fact is out there. Brothers and sisters in Chicago better get prepared, because whatever they're looking to shut down from you, all the things they're looking to cut off, you will not be able to get. Now, let me pull up this article here so that you all can see it with me here. All right. Here it is right here. 1 second. Here it is. So the Chicago Tribune had to respond back after that order. Mayor of Champaign declares emergency over coronavirus, but cities assures it's not banning guns, alcohol sales, or seizing property. But the report out this morning from Washington, don't forget, that's where the president is, that's where Capitol Hill is, that's where the Senate, Congress is. Someone leaked out that information because it was in the papers this morning within Washington, D.C., within Washington. It says here, the city of Champaign assured people Friday it's not banning gun or alcohol sales or seizing property after several conservative media outlets highlighted the mayor's ability to take those actions as part of an emergency declared to deal with the COVID-19. Websites including the Washington Examiner, so this is not a conspiracy theory here. The Washington Examiner is a reputable mainstream outlet. So I was alarmed to hear something like this morning, that they would actually report the confiscation of guns. Maybe this report got out early. Maybe they put it out there before, someone put the cart before the horse here. And now they're reeling it back. But nonetheless, it was reported. So you can't say you weren't told, even though they're reeling it back. Websites, including the Washington Examiner, ran stories about the emergency declaration after gun rights groups highlighted that Mayor Deborah Frank Feenan's power to ban firearm sales under the measures, and local TV station One ran a story about the mayor's declaration and a city ordinance putting an emergency info effect. No coronavirus cases had been diagnosed in the city as of Friday, a fact noted in some of the articles. Okay, but yet they're beginning emergency precautions and all that right up under the nose of the citizens there. I wanted to put that out there, right? That's number one. Let me get rid of that. Now, what did I tell you all? That usually when it comes to these particular types of things, at the end of the day, it's our people at the end of the stick for the vaccines. Look, coronavirus, COVID-19. And look who they have there. Look at the face of those they're targeting with the vaccines. Huh? Didn't we tell you? I said, look for, they started in China, just like they started over in the Middle East when it comes to terrorists. And now the face of terrorism are black people. Now, we have a crazy killer cold or flu where the target is to shoot vaccines into our people. Right? Did I tell you what was, didn't I say what was going to become the face of the vaccine? Huh? Didn't I tell you that a few days ago? And see, it's not like I have some deep insight. They run the same things over and over again to the degree in which it's common sense to this point. It's not like I have some great window into the future or something. They usually bring something out, and then at the end of the day, it's our people disproportionately, the poor are disproportionately affected by it. Right? Didn't I tell you? Told you. Right? Just wanted to put that out there. What is the new coronavirus, COVID-19? Now, the children aren't even dying from this thing. I have a data, a reputable data that's usually sent to certain administrations who use this data to track the virus. I'm going to go through that in a moment. Dr. Brownstein, what does he say? We are not worried about the COVID-19. This is a doctor. Vaccine impact. Coronavirus 7. We are ready and you can be ready too. Okay. Right? Problem. It's the Hegelian dialect. Problem, reaction, solution. We are not worried about COVID-19. We are ready and you can be ready too. For over 25 years, my office, the Center of Holistic Medicine located in West Bloomfield, Michigan, has been effectively treating viral infections. The last few days I've seen the panic that is occurring. Schools are closing, college students sent home, and my son was sent home also from college. And all large events are being canceled. Rather than a time to panic, this is a time to reflect on our healthcare system and how to ensure that your immune system is ready to fight COVID-19. The present coronavirus infection. You notice he said the current. Corona today, swine flu yesterday. Whatever happened to Ebola? Where did Ebola go? Ebola went on vacation and was replaced by Corona. It says here, conventional medicine's approach to COVID-19, suboptimal. They can offer hand washing and quarantine. That is about it, really. It's pathetic. So the only answer to this is to quarantine you, lock you up, or say wash your hands. The same, keep in mind, with the cold or flu, it's the same precaution, nothing different. The same precaution with the cold or flu. And the sick thing about this is, I got it this morning and was doing some of the research. A lot of these hospitals and stuff don't even have, or clinics don't even have the kit to test whether or not someone has the actual coronavirus. So you come in with a regular flu or cold, 9 times out of 10, they're going to just put you up under the corona. Oh, the common cold and flu also went away. They went on vacation, and the only thing left out there now is corona. Okay? But I digress. The media and the powers that be would have you believe that this is the first time coronavirus has ever infected humankind. That's the power of media, right? That is simply not true. In fact, about 20% of common colds are caused by coronavirus. It is important to know that coronavirus have been around for hundreds of years. I know this strain is different, but all viruses change and mutate and are on a yearly basis. In fact, the influenza virus changes during every flu season, as I previously stated. I've been treating these viral changes for over 25 years. Okay? Now, so there's a great chance that you probably had coronavirus and you just said, I had this nasty flu. There's a good chance that you had that same strain, but it was just under the title flu at that time. It's not as if we know the exact number or genetic or the bio makeup of every virus we come down with. It's just this one, they just put a COVID-19 on it. But to us, it's a cold, it's a flu. See? Listen, it says here, my partners, these are doctors, have all found success using natural therapies to enhance the body's immune system, as well as to kill viruses, including flu-like viruses. This is Vaccine Impact. Y'all can go there when y'all get a chance, but still, y'all can do your own research. And then if you would like, check with your doctor, get informed consent, and just get all the information out there for what's best for your particular home and make a decision for what's right with you. But this doctor said right here, today I ordered intravenous hydrogen peroxide, vitamin C, ozone, gluthonians for my sick patients. I am confident that these therapies will help them recover eventually. Keep in mind, my partners and I have nearly 80 years of experience with these therapies. Not only do they work, they can be miraculous. Just ask our patients, right? So that's Vaccine Impact, and there's doctors there, okay, who have studied. I'm talking about reputable doctors who've been dealing with homeopathic cures, and before that, they were in the mainstream pharmaceutical doctors sector. Okay, so these are places you can go if you look for natural ways to build your immune system, because usually if you run into something that's nasty that's affecting another person negatively, sometimes it affects you because your immune system is built up so well, like a common cold, because your body is strong enough to ward it off. These are the details they're not telling you. And that leads us to this. What is this? What do we have before us here? This is an actual international ticker giving all of us an update on the spread of the virus. Okay? When you go to corona.health, it gives you a current update on the virus itself. Okay? A current update. Okay, when you look up here, corona.health, since they first reported it in January, up until now, the total people who have been infected by this is 150,000 people. Now, this is international, any place on earth. 150,876 people were infected with this. When I say infected, they caught this particular high strain cold, right? Now, normally in the yellow, you'll look at this as, oh my God, we have to do something about it. Let's roll out the military. Let's shut everything down. This is death for all people right now, right? Let's see. Out of 150,876 people, 5,625 people died throughout the whole world. And the majority of these people were senior citizens, over 65, between 65 and over 80, who already had pre-existing illnesses and compromised immunities and respiratory issues. 1,586. Well, what of all those that that came down with the coronavirus, what happened to the rest of them? Well, look at this here in the blue. Look at these numbers here. Here are the total people who recovered as to date since they were tracking this. 72,510 people who once had it overcame it. They're walking around normal right now and nothing of it. They overcame it like a common cold or flu. Huh? I want y'all to examine that. But this is not being reported like this. And I'm not saying that some people may not recover from the corona if they get it. Why? Because maybe their immunity is already compromised. Okay. Maybe they're dealing with respiratory issues. Maybe, they have pre-existing issues. Maybe they're sick already. Maybe they smoke and all that and have emphysema and lung issues. Okay. Maybe their immunity is so compromised that if they run into it, or even a common flu, a flu would probably kill people with a compromised immunity. So I wanted to put that out there so that at least you have the numbers to deal with. Mm-hmm. Because this is more so on par with what we've been viewing in the normal population, which is the normal population is that we don't see too much of a change when it comes to sicknesses in people. We don't see that. People are getting it, obviously, 150,000 worldwide, but we talk about a world of billions of people. Okay? So people are getting it, but the majority of the people, 90% of the people are recovering from it just like a common cold or flu. Okay, now, because this thing is so deadly and has this deadly strain to it, of course, we must be careful in how we operate with others, and like I said the other day, be cognizant of your environment. Mm-hmm. Of course, but I was like that when it comes to colds. If I see someone coughing and all that, I'm avoiding them. I've always been that way. Okay?
Mm-hmm. If I can add as
yeah,
well, as you're mentioning, just to add to what you're saying, of course, we're not trying to trivialize. We're not trying to say don't take health and safety precautions. It may not be deadly for someone, but depending on where you are and your health, your immune system, your cleanliness, it could be deadly for you.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that point out. So I'm about, if you're going to deal with it from the physical side of things, we're going to deal with the spiritual side of things in a moment. But from the physical side of things, take precautions. Get everything you need holistically to build your immune system. How long have we been talking about that? Mm-hmm. We must live a righteous, clean life and make sure we put the right things in our bodies to ward off disease. Okay? Okay. Corey's servant says, who cares? Back to the scriptures. Okay. What you do is make a new account to comment with. All right? What's going on in the midst of this corona thing? Right? Because another thing I'm checking out, those that I know in parts of, don't forget, Egypt is the most populated country, I'm talking about as a city, within all of Africa. And I've spoken with people in that region, and they say everything is normal. Egyptians ain't even worried about this thing at all. So one thing I know about this coronavirus definitely don't like Egyptians. Okay? There's something about those Egyptians that coronavirus just don't mess with. So this is a border country specific virus. Okay? We know that for sure. It's country specific. Very smart virus. Now, one moment here. Let me get back here before I open up the calls. This is what they're not telling you. Report yesterday from BBC News. Iraq-based attack. U.S. in retaliatory strikes on Iran-backed fighters. The U.S. has launched retaliatory airstrikes against a pro-Iranian militia group in Iraq after a rocket attack killed 2 of its soldiers. So there's an attack, a base that was hit. War. So the military is putting things in place, understanding that eventually there will be a world war, America and Israel leading the charge against Iran. Now, see? So what they're doing with the corona is being able to put their military infrastructure in place, knowing war is imminent. Right? Now, what else can we show you? I have a lot of scripts. I got a lot of things to go over, but I wanted to put these things out there for you first to put you in the know, because there is no academy tomorrow, so I might as well do this news. And next week, after the Passover, we're going to be going right in. But anyway, right? This is where we are there, right? What else aren't they telling you, since they're just telling us about just corona, right? Just corona. There's something else going on here. What do we have here? This is what's going on in Belgium right now, while we're in America talking about corona. This was taken from Belgium. Someone took this strictly from a phone, recording what's going on in Belgium, in Europe right now, in Belgium. Right? Tanks getting prepared for war over in Europe as we speak. Huh? What do we got going on here? Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Matthew 24 real quick, and then we're going to open up the lines and talk to the people. They asked, let's do something different today for the Sabbath. Can people chime in? I already made announcements for what we're going to do, starting to aim this ministry inward to help the people who are already within the body to prepare for what's to come. Okay? In the meantime, we're going to be setting up what you would call closed circuit areas for different cities and states, big cities, Indianapolis, Indiana, different parts of Florida, where you can come in and learn directly from us and get guided and get baptized eventually. Because we can only be in one place at one time. So we're going to try to do this all at once and speed things up, knowing that now they have changed the whole game with all of this. We have to make it quick. We have to make sure we have our closed circuits every Friday night being taught in Africa, as well as other places, since we can't be there and look to just fly and be there for weeks at a time, seeing that the time is shorter than we thought we would have here to be able to set things up. Okay? Now, one thing you all know, brothers and sisters, this church has been consistent in this ministry with speaking, teaching about the mark of the beast system, and having our people prepare before it's fully implemented against us. We have been consistent in breaking down that all of these lead to Jacob's trouble and them looking to eradicate Israel throughout the four corners of the earth before Christ brings us the promise. We have been consistent. Okay? Now, brothers and sisters, it's time for all of us, if we haven't been, to take this serious while there's time. And that's even if after the 2 weeks, there's some level of normalcy. Because when it breaks out, when the war breaks out and it all happens, There will be no reports giving you 2 weeks for this or 2 weeks to that. Your job will be finished. Your school will be finished. Your whole plans for this life will change that day forever. So if they're doing this as some type of psyop or some type of plan to put an infrastructure in place, knowing that war is imminent, how much more planning should we be doing, understanding the prophecies concerning this time? Okay?
Right. Things go back to somewhat normalcy. Think of this next 2 weeks as a worldwide fire drill.
Exactly. Great point. Okay, I'm going to put it in 712-451-0439. Access code 168934. Go ahead, Elder Lawyer. Read that real quick.
Yes, sir. Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. And Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yeshua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And which shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
What shall be the sign of thine coming, and the end of the world? The signs of the times. Read.
Verse 4. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Christians.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
So the many Christ was talking about who would come in on the scene and hijack Christianity was the church that was established after the fall of Jerusalem, the Roman Catholic Church. It's identifying the Romans who would deceive the whole earth. Read.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So Christ is giving the disciples insight prophetically into the future here. Okay? The insight is not just for their time. It's the end of the world. So it's a whole breakdown of that time, and dividing of times. What to look for throughout these generations. There'll be 35 generations that would lead, in which all of these prophecies would happen within that time span, a 35 generation span, times time and a half of times. Read.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. When it says 3,500, that's 3,000. When you break it down, that's 1,750 jubilees, It's 3,500 from the time of Moses getting the law and Christ's birth. Okay? So what we have here is 1,750 years. You got 1,750, 35 jubilees. 35 jubilees between us getting the law and Christ's birth. It all links into this calendar that we have out there. And there'll be 35 jubilees between Christ's birth and his coming. That's your time and a half of times. Read.
See that ye be not troubled.
Come on.
For all these things must come to pass.
All these things must come to pass. Read.
But the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. Read.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
Race against race, kingdom against kingdom. That's what we're seeing right now. Race wars, race division, kingdom against kingdom, wars and rumors of wars. That's the time that Christ said that we would live through. before deliverance.
Mhm.
Read.
For all these things must, or Salaki, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom,
Come on.
and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places.
That's what we went through this last week, even from the broadcast, showing the rivers of the waters in China like blood. This is all wars, because you have to realize a lot of this is really a military psyop. A Trojan horse in which they can establish now their military infrastructure throughout the whole earth. And I'm going to tell you, that's why Christ said, look out for those deceivers who would come in the name of Christ. Because of this so-called fake rapture deception the Jesuits have been teaching in the Christian church, Christians have been lulled to sleep. They made you believe that none of this stuff we're experiencing now would happen until some antichrist would pop up and say, I'm God on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that once that happened, that the mark of the beast wouldn't be implemented until this man pops up as the antichrist. But the church don't have to worry about it in that wicked whack doctrine, the rapture deception. The churches thought that they would be floated into the air with Christ before what we're living under right now. So where's the Antichrist at? But all the things the Bible speaks concerning the beast is being implemented. And Christians haven't floated into air and have disappeared into the rapture yet. You've been deceived. They put you to sleep. Come on.
Verse number 8. All these are the beginning of sorrow.
They are the beginning of sorrows. Read.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
They shall deliver you up to be afflicted. See, Christ is talking about us, our people, being the target people, Jerusalem. Not that everyone else will not go through this screening also. But Christ says this is what Israel would go through in particular, God's people. They will deliver you up to be afflicted. You'll have reports. Why don't you come on down and get checked for this and checked for that? And some people are going to check in and will not check out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget about that national database that was developed between George Bush's administration and the healthcare bill, in which all data was centralized under the Barack Obama administration, to make it where all your medical records are now in one database. Now, some people are going to try to blame Barack Obama or try to blame George Bush, when really these are progressive initiatives that were planned regardless of what person is in place.
Mm-hmm.
A strategic plan from one administration to the next, leading to the last Jubilee. The lobbyists who control the president's seats, agenda, those that are under Satan is moving this thing along according to prophecy. You can try to blame Barack Obama, Donald Trump. You can try to blame George Bush. It's bigger than all of that, folks.
Mm-hmm.
This is the progressive program. So they will have things put in place to make you believe it's just about a virus or about that. But Christ is telling you what the tribulation is for. They will give you up. Read that part again.
They shall deliver you up to be afflicted.
To be afflicted. They're going to try to force things on you now, due to some foreign disease that you may never run into.
Mm-hmm.
But now you are affected by it, not infected, but affected by it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Billions of people on the earth. Not even 200,000 people caught it all together. Okay? What's the numbers? Let me see what the numbers here again.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it here? Let me get the numbers so I can be accurate. 150,876 people affected, was actually infected with it. And only 5,000 625 people dead worldwide in an earth of billions of people. But now the whole earth must be affected by this so-called thing. So now you're in a national database that was developed throughout these past administrations. And through this database, you have to go in now and report and try to figure out whether or not you have the symptoms of something. And at any time, they can look you up in a database and say, well, okay, you are infected with corona. Lock him up. Lock her up. Oh, let me see. Because in the database with you is a dossier of all the things you've been following, what you believe, what you've been doing online, and all that is in one central database. And they're looking at you say, yeah, you look like corona. Lock him up. Lock her up. See? And then under martial law, because that's really what it's about. This is just soft martial law. Because there's certain things they must do first before they actually engage, especially Americans, the way they would want to. And that's gun confiscation. But once that happened, all the cover is going to be off. They're not going to need corona and nothing else because they're using these proxy scenarios to get to that point in which they don't need these what you would call substitutions or emergencies. They're going to get to a point where it's going to be what it is. Military is going to be looking for specific people in the earth, just the way it is. They just need time to set that infrastructure. I believe that's what we're living through right now. The setting of the mark of the beast infrastructure and a reset of this world's economy and also the world's military and the world being led through the 10 horns at the end like Christ showed John on the Isle of Patmos. All power going back to Edom in Rome. That's where it's going. But right now, everyone is centralized in this database. And now come on into your doctor's office. Come on in. Let's see who's going to come through and test for corona. Okay? These are all programs to see who's actually easily led to the slaughter. I'm going to tell you, folks. Listen to this. Come on.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you.
And shall what?
And shall kill you.
This is talking about those who believe the word, those who understand the truth according to the Most High. This is their real plan. Christ was warning us that the deceivers, those who claim to be his people, those who claim to be Christians, would have a plan against the righteous, would deceive the righteous. And at the end of the day, their objective is to finish what they couldn't finish in 70 AD against Jerusalem. An eradication of the children of Israel. For years they've been putting this out there in esoteric messages and all types of occult numerology and all that. Hindsight is 2020. The perfect vision is 2020. Right? They're saying you need to look at 2020. They've been putting for years. We were talking about what? 10, 11 years ago. We were dropping, we were discussing Agenda 21. So right up under our nose 3 years ago, they switched it to Agenda 31 to throw people off. When there was a certain number of people, they needed under full control by the year 2021, which means it would all begin. The infrastructure will be put in place 2020 in preparation for Agenda 21. Full control of the earth by the end of what? 2021. Look up Agenda 21. We were talking about this before we left and came back to America. Right? Finish reading, Elder Lawyer.
Verse number 10, or the rest of verse 9.
Come on.
And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
You shall be what?
Hated of all nations for my name's sake.
You shall be hated of all races of people for my name's sake. So God's people hey folks, understand that this Bible is an Israelite Bible. It's a chosen seed book. So what Christ was showing here to the disciples, that our people would be hated for exalting and coming back to the God who have always loved and protected Israel. See? This is an Israelite book. So it's not talking about people going to be hated for worshiping Allah or Jesus, because there was no J's during Christ's time, so his name couldn't have been Jesus. You'll be loved saying Jesus. You'll be loved saying Allah. You'll be loved if you were a Buddhist. But now you're calling on some weird names that the Gentiles know not. A different God. And now you're being hated because why? You're coming back to the God who made us, the God of the book. That's what Christ was talking about. Yeshua's name, you're going to be hated for that. Because they worked, speaking of the Masoretes and others, they've worked to hide Christ's true name, knowing that there's no name under heaven whereby man can be saved. There was no J's during Christ's time, so they could not have been baptizing in the name of Jesus. But if you start doing something outside of the program, automatically others are going to look at you as weird, cultish. They're going to begin to hate you. See? That's what Christ was talking about. People saying, Ohio, what's that? That's weird. Ohio. The Jewish people didn't give us Ohio. The Jewish people gave us Yahweh. What is this weird stuff? Ohio, what that means? You know the name he gave Moses? Then we speak to rabbis and all that and mention it, and next you know they're quiet. Are you talking about I hate? You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know more so than us. How many Torahs have you read? You know what it says there. They say we're not supposed to say the name. We just say Hashem. Hashem. Hashem just means the name. What name? Why are you hiding God's name from people who are under onslaught by the enemy? What type of crap is that? Why would you hide God's name if you're not the enemy of God? Hashem. Finish reading.
Verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
Yeah, people are being offended because when you exalt the Most High's name, you are offending those who are serving lesser gods. They'll all begin to hate you. You don't celebrate the same day they celebrate. You don't eat the same things they do. You're like the black sheep of the world, marching by the beat of your own drum. See? So you begin to become hated. People, it must be a cult. Hey, Christ went around with 12 guys, being hated by the Pharisees, scribes, and all those religious authorities during the time that he was walking the earth. If he was living a day and he was walking around and went down Wall Street with a whip and started whipping people out of the temple, I'm sure there's some broadcast in this earth today who would say that this man, Christ, was leading a cult. We're hated because we're God's people, and we also hate it because we're telling the truth. according to this word. And Christ prophesied this would happen, and they would begin to put measures in place to engage the righteous. So the whole thing is now, we're in the thick of it now. Should we be afraid? No. We are to prepare spiritually. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. You can't meet what they would call carnality with carnality. This is the stage that Satan is setting. To think that to have us prepare to engage them physically. Mm-hmm. It's not a physical war. That's right. We must respond spiritually to their carnality and let the Most High work between us and them. Give the spiritual realm space to work for us. That's right. So we're going to discuss all that. Yes, there's physical preparation we're doing to actually withstand what's coming. A fool sees something coming afar off and not prepare. We've been talking about this for how long? So there is physical preparation. We're not going to sit around docile and do nothing. That's not smart. That's not intelligent. Mm-hmm. But all in all, folks, this is a spiritual war that we must prepare ourselves for. First of all, we must begin to change our ways and come back all the way under God's highest protection and Christ's hedge he made for us. Okay, let's open up some of these calls.
All right, so we're going down the line.
Turn it all the way up because they're going to need to hear it here.
We have 226. Last 4 digits, 6148.
Shalom.
Shalom, how are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to make a comment about what's going on now.
Okay.
I was doing some research about the we need to go back to the laws and commandments. And like I saw a video today about China and many places over the world have what they call wet markets. You've probably already seen the videos where, they slaughter dogs and cats and bats, anything crawling. And I believe many nations, they're being exposed for the crimes against the Most High people because over the years, these people have stores and restaurants in our community, in the poor community. So we're no telling what people have been eating all these years. And according to researchers, diseases that jump from animals to humans may be pinpoint back to places like mainland China, which may be a part of why a lot of diseases are carried over here, especially in the poor community. Your thoughts?
Hey, sister, what you're saying is right on. What you're saying is right on. Is the fact that they've always, speaking of the Gentile nations, they've always brought. Don't forget, when you go to China and Asia, animals. And I'm not talking about the beef and poultry we eat here. Every animal is open game for food there. And they've been selling us in our neighborhoods, I know for sure, cats, dogs, rats, and all that since the inception of Chinese food in the ghetto. Okay? I've seen what they call ribs in a Chinese store in comparison of the ribs my mother and father, which was pork at that time, I know what a pork rib looked like. Mm-hmm. And I see these little ribs they were making, and they would say these was Chinese ribs. And I'm like, yo, this is, man, what is this, an anorexic pig? I'm like, the little bones like this. And then I look behind the trash can and seeing dogs and all that, the skeletons of dogs and all that in the back. But that's not the only thing they've been bringing. You notice when they started setting up Chinese stores and stuff in our neighborhoods, that the number of stray cats and dogs went down exponentially. I remember I used to go outside and see packs of dogs running around to a degree in which if I wanted to find a puppy or something, I could get a dog the same day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that time. Try to find some stray dogs and cats in the neighborhoods now.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, and I know when we pull this out there, put it out there, there was some pushback, especially from sisters, when I talked about Asia and China and all that, and the hair market, and how our people made that $1 billion industry that we don't control, and how they were women from India, Babylonians, were shaving off their heads, praying spirits into the product, the hair products, and selling them on the open market, targeting our sisters. Now what happens? 9 times out of 10, it's a shame because we're never going to release ourselves from our programming. 9 times out of 10, when it comes to China and all these other products, it wouldn't be too long before you're going to find what they call Corona and all these things in some of these products we just can't walk away from. Put it in our hair, consume it in our food, and the next thing you know, it's going to be exactly what I showed. I showed on this, where we're the target people of coronavirus now. But go on, I digress.
Thank you. Peace.
Hey, sister, where you from?
I'm from Louisiana. I actually connected with y'all in 2013, and the Most High, I already had some, awakening going on, but you all introduced me. Opened my eyes a little wider where I got the understanding. Because I know the Christian church, they only have like a spiritual side of it, but you all introduced us to a more what the Bible is actually saying.
Hey,
and
sis.
So,
okay, I understand.
Yeah, I've been you all, but I travel a lot, so I haven't been able to visit any of your churches. So I would like to get back connected.
Okay, and what part of Louisiana you're in?
At the time, Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Okay. Well, we're going to have a gathering there where you can come in and get guided through the church directly from us. Okay? Okay, so get ready. All right. Thank you, sister.
I'm ready.
All right.
And also for those who are in Louisiana, we have 2 gatherings, one in New Orleans,
Yeah.
another in Lake Charles.
So we do have a gatherings in New Orleans and in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Moving on to the next one, we got 414, last 4 digits. Let's see here. 0317.
Shalom.
Shalom, Elder. Shalom, Elder. I'm Andre Thomas. First off, I want to say all praises to Ahia, and then I want to thank y'all for staying strong in this body. But I have a question. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I got baptized with you guys in 2017, and I think it was a YMCA, where we had the swimming pool. We get baptized in the swimming pool, but I have some other people that want to get baptized too. And right now, the only body I know is in Chicago, and right now it's shut down. So I just wanted to figure out, like, do y'all have one that's close to Milwaukee prior to Chicago?
Where are you in Milwaukee?
Say it again.
Where are you in Milwaukee?
In Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I'm like on what's this? The
Right.
east side of
Hold on.
Milwaukee, like on 30.
Hold on. Yeah. Write his number down for me. What's your name?
Andre Thomas.
Andre. How old are you? Hello? How old are you, brother?
I'm 30 years old.
Okay, because 2017, and And you've been following our doctrine and our teachings diligently since you've been baptized, right?
Yes, I've been baptized, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna call you because you're gonna be one of the point people we use in Milwaukee for the closed circuit area
Okay.
we'll have for the gathering there, okay? Make sure you put his name down
Okay.
and put point person in Milwaukee. All right. So I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, is it a certain time where just be on standby?
Just be on standby. Is this your cell?
Yeah, just myself.
Okay, yes, be on standby. I have a lot of calls tomorrow. All right?
Okay,
All right. Okay, Shalom. Go to the next one.
shalom, brother.
And like I mentioned to the brothers and sisters earlier, usually after there's a run on food and water, afterwards there's a run on gasoline. So while the prices are what it is and people are still on the food phase when you should have been stored food and water, you should be in the gas phase right now. Going to getting some containers, some nice tight containers for gasoline and loading up, because you're not going to want to be the person stuck with lines around the block looking for gasoline. Okay? You're going to need that for your car or your vehicle to get from point A to point B. You don't want to be stuck out there during this time. Now, like I said, I hope within 2 weeks they shut everything down and reset it. And what they're claiming is they'll know more by 2 weeks, and that's really at the perfect timing of the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is the end of their 2 weeks. We're going to know whether or not this was just a reset, getting things put in place, or we're going to know it's permanent. If they start kicking this can down the road and say, well, give us another week or 2 weeks, know that it's not going to get better at that time. For a while. Appreciate it. No, it's not going to. No, it's only going to get worse. Thank you. They start kicking the can down the road and say, give us, well, we thought things would be fine in 2 weeks, but we need more time. Know that it's never going to go back the same. And it's right on par with the Passover, the real Passover, not this stuff that the Zionists are doing. The Passover according to the Sabbath calendar. And at the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is 14 days, there's a week that's coming up next Friday, Passover. And then sundown, it begins the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and then Saturday sundown ends the Feast of Unleavened Bread subsequent to the Passover week. After the end of that, we'll know that Monday, after the Feast of Unleavened Bread, we'll know whether or not it's going to be some level of normal, or it'll never go back to where it was. You just have to get before the cities are going to be madhouses. So you get in front of it, especially if you're living in a city. Stock up food, water, and get gasoline while everyone else is looking at food. You're going to need it. Get yourself a generator. When the time comes, you're not going to be able to find a generator, folks, to charge your phones and charge things in case the grid goes out. To be able to stay in contact with other people. Get yourself a generator. And you're not getting this to sustain you to the kingdom. You're getting these things so that you are secluded from the chaos with time to plan and be led out of it. Okay? What's the next one?
All right, we got 347, last four digits, 2839.
Come on. Shalom.
Hello?
Shalom. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom,
Talk to me.
My name is Brother Stephen. I don't know if you remember me, but we spoke before, a couple of times.
Yes, I remember you, Steve.
Yes, well, I'm living with my brother who is a pastor here in New York City. Recently, I had a death in my family again. I first lost my mother, and last week, Friday, I lost my sister.
I'm
And
sorry.
we just buried her. We just buried her yesterday.
I'm sorry to hear that. You have my condolences.
By some strange coincidence, my mother died on January 6th, and my sister died on March 6th.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
And we were planning, of course, to attend the Passover. But that's all irrelevant, to tell you the truth. To the reason why I did call it, I do see where this whole thing is going, this coronavirus, and you're absolutely right. The next thing is the gasoline.
Hey, brother, can you roll up a window or something? There's ice cream trucks and everything happening here.
I'm gonna put you on mute for a moment.
I'm outside on the street at the moment. It's hard for me to get to a place of quiet at the moment.
All right, well, just tie it up and I'll answer whatever you have to say offline.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Basically, we also are going to experience, as you say, people being locked up. They'll use the excuse of the virus to do so. Here in New York City, already there are already talks of isolation and isolating communities. They've isolated the community of New Rochelle, making it a band of 3 miles, a band around the New Rochelle area of New York. Okay. So, as you say, the isolation will be happening, and yes, they will be taking people and holding them with the excuse of the virus, even though that you may not even display any of the virus symptoms. All those that I have heard of encountering this virus have been of Caucasian or other nation persuasion. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's what I've noticed.
You know what? I've seen that, but I'm not getting caught up into that because I understand the I would call it the psyop or the psychological connotation behind it. It's this thing where black people are saying we're stronger and that's why white people are getting it. 9 times out of 10, you probably got it before and didn't know it. It's just a flu and overcame it. Tom Hanks and his wife, they're going to become the spokespeople of it. But just say hypothetically they got it. That don't mean something is wrong with their immune system that you can't catch it. So I think that that's one of those things where black people are just saying, look at my strong melanin and all that conscious junk. Okay, I'm not even feeding into that. It's always a switching bait. The same way they have us feed into, they found the first bones in Africa. And my question to them when they say that is, because black people are like, yeah, we the original man. We found the first bones. And then be like, okay, you found Adam?
Yeah.
So get out of here with that. That's just something that make us feel as if, more powerful or some crap.
Right.
I'm not even. Listen, black people can get a cold and flu just like coronavirus and all that, like everyone else.
Absolutely.
So I'm not even buying that crap.
As we've seen historically, Salaki, we've seen
Go
historically.
ahead, hey brother, we're gonna put you on hold, all right? All right, put him on hold. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, as we've seen historically, time and time again, we know that the narrative can always easily be switched. Anyway, so yesterday it's the Chinese man, then it's the white man. Easily, it can now become the so-called black man. So
exactly.
we don't feed into that.
I'm not feeding none of that stuff. Okay, everybody can catch a cold. All right.
So moving on to the next.
And because if we start downplaying these things as if it don't affect us, that's why we're usually the one inordinately affected by all of this anyway.
Right.
Because we have this so-called superhero mentality that our blackness will shield us from everything to come,
Right.
from all ills and anything that might come. It's utterly ridiculous. At the end of it, based on the reports, at the end of this, the black community will suffer more so than any community on earth.
Right.
And that's documented, and I'll show you that in a moment.
Right.
But go on.
And another point on that.
Yeah.
If something is affecting the Chinese community, what happens? They prepare so that it doesn't affect them further. If
Yeah.
something is affecting the white community, they prepare so it doesn't affect them further. Because of the superhero mindset we have, we sit back, it can't affect me, I got melanin, so on and so forth, the chakras and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Next thing you know, we're not preparing, and then, as you said, it affects us the worst.
exactly.
All right, moving on, we got 286, 1196 as the last 4 digits.
You're live.
All right, again,
Put that on hold. We'll bring them back. But just on that note, since we were talking about that, that's because I know we believe that melanin is like a shield,
right,
against all enemy pathogens, right? And like it, and it goes back to this too. When you say preparing, Elder Lawyer, I made a statement that Julius Caesar said that people are more afraid of what they can't see than what they can see. Right? They're less fearful of what's affecting them real time right now. And because of his psychoanalyzing of people in general, not just black people, he was able to control the population through fear first. Psyops. You can get more production out of a person if you can scare them than if you can kill them. Okay? Because through fear, you can make them do whatever you would like. And when I seen that statement, even though, he was an Edomite blood drinker and whatever the case is, you can't help but understand when you hear wisdom because it's working out real time. That was wisdom. He understood the minds, the mindset of a civilian population. And if I was to even just break it down, in layman's terms, just looking at our community, right? And I'm going to give you an example here. People fear more what they can't see than what they can see. Everyone is up in arms in our community saying, Corona, man, this is crazy. Corona, what Trump is going to do. Corona, coronavirus. And none of them can, everything is normal. No one is being affected by the coronavirus itself. It's something they can't see. Right? Something they can't see. But right now, we got drug dealers in our community killing our children. And we don't fear that at all. And that's really affecting us real time right now. We have people that are shooting, killing each other. We don't fear that, even though it's affecting us right now. See how wired backward that thinking is? And when you go into another community, how dare somebody in the suburbs try to knock on doors and just stand pitched on a corner all day, peddling drugs to the neighborhood? They're not thinking about Corona. They're thinking about the enemy that's affecting their children real time right now. That's the backward thinking of a controlled people. They're not even dealing with the things that's really affecting them that they should fear. In their own community, in our own communities, we don't deal with we should have fear of someone on the corner peddling drugs to our children. We should have fear when someone pitch up with the letter people and begin to initiate or try to coax our children into that particular lifestyle. That's where our fear should be, in those areas that are affecting us daily. But I digress. Next phone call.
All right, we got 317. Last four digits, 9861.
Before you do that, I said I wanted to show something real quick on that same note.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say on Yahoo News? Coronavirus to impact low-wage black workers the most. Didn't I tell you what they're going to do? Coronavirus to impact low-wage black workers the most. Oh, man, it's corona, boy. It's racist.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Low-income and low-wage earners will likely bear the brunt of the economic impact of corona. Now we understand what the target population was the whole time. To do something against poor people, the children of Israel. Experts warn as coronavirus continues to slam industries like travel, leisure, hospitality, workers in these industries also have the lowest amounts of access to sick leave, forcing many employees to choose between their health and their paycheck. Only a third of the workforce in the country is able to work from home, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics nationwide. More than 32 million workers don't have access to paid sick leave. According to the BLS, 92% of higher wage earners receive paid sick time compared to their lower income counterparts. Only 31% of workers with salaries in the bottom 10% have this benefit. Suffering the most. Let's get it here. Economically, Elise says, these workers are the most likely to suffer the most, particularly as many face work hour reductions. Now, we've been facing work hour reductions for the last 5 years, believe it or not, incrementally. But this is going to be the hammer. This is going to be the last shoe to drop here. As fewer people go to restaurants, travel, and spend money to hotels, workers in those industries suffer from reduced business and dollars that can translate into tips. This highlighting the vast inequality in this country, Gould said, and some people are going to get hurt so much more than others. The hurt could be long-lasting. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen over the course of the virus. Over the course of the virus.
Right.
Man, what an intelligent virus. This virus has a course.
Right.
Among the working poor, black workers will be harmed the most. That was their target population the whole time. The BLS black and Hispanic workers are more than twice as likely, the children of Israel, to earn poverty level wages compared to their white counterparts. Roughly 8% of black and Hispanic workers earn wages. I don't even deal with these numbers, but you get the gist of it. You see the gist of it right there. And I rode through, I went down West Philly to get some stuff yesterday that was needed. And what happens? We're popping woolies all through North Philly. Okay, everything is normal. The music is bumping. I hear Meek Mills being blasted out the window. Next thing you know, I see a silhouette of a person within a car filled with smoke. He let it go. It's like a Jamaican festival up in his car. You get a contact just driving by. Everything was normal in North Philly. Hey, better prepare. What's next? Come on, let's go.
Yes, sir. We have 317, last four digits, 9861.
Yes.
Hi, Shalom, elders.
Shalom. How are you?
I'm well. I've been trying to get in contact with you guys for the past month or so, but this is the first time talking to you guys. So I'm sorry. I'm so nervous. But I really just want to talk to you guys about getting baptized. There's no type of, that I know of, there's no place in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the downtown that I could go to I guess get in contact with you guys.
Well,
So
let's deal with that part first, sister. Are
Okay.
are you in our weekly Friday classes we have for those who are not baptized? I mean, who don't have a
no,
gathering?
I just found out about that now, since the beginning of this video.
Okay, because lawyer says we held them off temporarily, but we're gonna restart those back up. You probably want to be a part of it. Write her number down
Okay.
there. Let me have your name.
It's Jevlin, Jevlin, Watford.
Okay. And you're in Indianapolis, Indiana, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
Central.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a church there anyway, but we have your number. Anything else you would like to say before we go to the next call? We're gonna call you. Okay. Elder
Well,
Lawyer, make sure
I
we
guess-
call her, okay?
So I work in a grocery store, and so I get to see firsthand, people panicking and coming to buy stuff or whatever. And it's really strange because right now the aisle with the toilet paper, it's like literally just toilet paper that's been taken. We still have paper towels. People are taking cereal now, and it's also crazy because like our HBC, it's fully stocked. There's still like Band-Aids and stuff, and then you have the good stuff like the rice and the beans and stuff. It's still there, and and it's crazy because I'm just looking at these people like, why aren't you getting this stuff that matters, And so I get a firsthand of what people are not taking, and I get to take advantage of that and take the stuff that people aren't taking. And right now I'm onto the gasoline, and I've been teaching myself how to do like the herbal medications and getting those together, helping my family with their immune system, and stuff like that, and just being literate in everything. So yeah.
Okay, well, sister, don't panic now. The Most High have you.
Oh, I'm not panicking. I'm just nervous to be talking to you guys. It's like such an honor right now. Crazy. But yeah, definitely not panicking. Just more so, I just wanted to. I had like something was just pressing on me. So like
Baptism,
talk to them,
baptism.
get your passport, and at least my family. That I grew up Jehovah's Witness. Thank God I'm out of that now, but. It's like more so just trying to get them to see things for what they are, and hopefully some of them do before it's too late. But yeah, I'm not panicking at all.
Okay. Yeah, we do have a church in Connecticut for those who ask. You send an email to goccnyc@yahoo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
GOC, but that I'm talking. I was just addressing someone on the comment board. But sister,
okay.
but how old are you?
21.
Okay. We've been saying for a while, sister. We've been putting it out there that you should prepare and store up. We've been putting this out there for the last 7 years now. Have you been stocking up and making sure you have some reserves?
Well, see, in the last month I have been doing so. I should have been doing it a long time ago when I felt led to, but. Definitely, I don't really think I have enough in the sense of how much I could have had if I had saved up earlier. But
Yeah.
I do think I'm trying to get my family on board, and me and my cousin are really like the two in the family that are really doing stuff. So we've been getting stuff together. So like what's mine is hers, and hers is mine type of thing. So yeah, I'm definitely not completely prepared, but I guess more prepared than someone else. I don't know. So
Okay.
try not to worry about that
All right.
much, but yeah.
Well, that's fine. All right, sister. So we have your number. We're going to reach out to you for baptism, and we're going to reach out for you for linking in for we're going to have a closed circuit in Indianapolis, Indiana. You can go through there
Great.
twice a week and learn directly from us until we build and until we have a sustained church in the area. Okay?
Okay. And
So
is there like an actual link that I have to go to for the Friday classes? Or...
yeah, well, you're gonna know all that. We're gonna call you and we're gonna talk to you
Okay.
about it. You'll have all that information.
And you'll call me tomorrow on standby, right?
You sure?
Yes. What I'll probably for the conference call classes, what I'll probably do later is just do an announcement. Just come on here, just do an impromptu announcement on details on how to become a part of that. We'll probably meet earlier in the week just to set up
I'm
for
sorry,
Friday.
you're kind of going in and out. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, in a nutshell, just give us a few days. We got your number.
Okay.
We will get with
Okay.
you. Don't worry about it. All right?
And what is your number? Just so I know.
It's going to be a 267 number. You're asking for my number?
No, you want to know if we know your number.
Well, I want to make sure that I look out for you guys' numbers because I got a lot of random numbers.
Okay, if you see a number coming in from the Philadelphia area, be it 610 or 215, know that it's us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, she's screening her calls too, huh?
And
All right, bless you. All right,
All right.
all right, shalom. All right, who's next? Let's go through. Okay, on another note, let me say this real quick. For those who don't know, all right, you going to put it on hold?
Yeah, I think she probably muted herself.
Okay, she muted herself. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. For those who don't know, the Academy the Academy coming to March 29th. You don't want to miss that because the news will be real time. We'll be bringing real time information according to prophecy, and we'll be going into new lessons. All right, so you don't want to miss that. As long as we're here and have the opportunity to deliver the word and to teach our people, we'll have that in tow. We'll have that there for you. Who knows? It may be a time where people can't gather naturally like we're used to doing. But we're gonna do the best with this technology until it's off. So Academy afford that opportunity for you to learn in a class setting and get the doctrine and understanding you need to withstand the wiles of the devil and to build your spiritual acumen. All right, so I want to put that out there. Any way we can continue to interact with each other and pull us together under one faith, one baptism, one doctrine, we should take full advantage of. And the Academy affords us that opportunity. So make sure you send an email to gatheringas1@aol.com or go to historytimes.org and enroll. This is not a time in which you want to be on the outside waiting. You want to be in the know with every opportunity, especially in the midst of what's going on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Historytimes.org. All right, what's the next one, okay?
Yes, sir. We have 919, last 4 digits. In fact, let me see, I'm getting some requests.
Okay, we have now 1,966 people in. Do us a favor if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't already, so you can drive the traffic here for those who need to hear what's going on today. We need your help with that. Everyone who haven't done it already, hit the like button, please. But go on.
Yes, sir. 919, last 4 digits, 7666.
Hey, shalom, El Shalom.
Oh, we do. Hold up. We do have the option for PayPal, and I can put that in the chat right now.
Nope.
So that's the email address for PayPal for those who ask that. We do have the PayPal option, okay? Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Hey, I want to say thank you, brothers, and all praise to the Father for being a mouthpiece, because you guys are the real news. What they got on the mainstream is propaganda and brainwashing. I want to say, it's serious times now, brothers and sisters, need to pay attention to help put down that fast food, because a lot of that garbage just weakens your immune system and destroys your good bacteria. Brothers and sisters need to just invest in good food. And I know grass-fed meat and all the organic stuff is expensive, but yeah, those sardines and pink salmon, that's wild caught fish in the cans. It's dirt cheap. And I want to say one more thing too.
I'm like a walking herb right now, but sometimes I still get sick. But the masses, they put that colloidal silver water, they took it off the books for a reason. And, like with Dr. Bird said, that stuff can cure AIDS, and that stuff is true, because I invested in the generator. It was like $80, right? And, every now and then I get a little sniffle or two. I make a batch of that stuff up. Within 2 or 3 days, it's gone. So, definitely, that's the best $80 you can spend is silver chloride water generator. So, just gonna put it out there. The masses, the church pretty much knows, but a lot of people don't know about it. But yeah, you get that. That's a must. You guys do a good job.
Absolutely. And where you from, brother?
Yeah, I'm from the DMV, Travis Town. I call it all the time.
Okay.
I'm in Columbia.
Okay. Are you with the body there currently, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I bounce in between DMV and Petersburg. I've been rocking with y'all since 2015.
All right. All praises, brother. All praises. Thank you for your call. We're gonna put you back on hold, but thank you for your call, brother.
All right.
All right. And again, as we mentioned this earlier. We mentioned this throughout the previous broadcast that we've been having in regards to this particular topic. As we've been stating, we know and we understand there's a lot of propaganda involved in what we're seeing in the mainstream media concerning this particular virus. However, we're not saying that you should not take precautions. As the brother stating, you want to start working on your immune system, trying to clean up your diet, trying to clean up your lifestyle. Okay. Also, introducing just a certain level of cleanliness to ensure okay, that you're keeping yourself safe. You're making sure that you're not spreading.
I'm sorry about that. Let me get in here real quick.
Yes, sir.
Go on.
Yes, sir. So just mentioning again off the back of the brother's call, just making sure we're taking precautions with our health, our cleanliness, so on and so forth. All right. We know there's a lot of propaganda out there concerning this virus and what they're putting out there. However, okay, as we mentioned earlier, if this is anything, it's a huge wake-up call, a huge fire drill that will allow us to and remind us that things will not always be the same. So while we have time, let's really take the limited time we have to really focus on getting ourselves prepared for this this time that we're in and the eventual times to come. Moving on, we have 231, last 4 digits, 7221.
Shalom.
All right.
Shalom.
Okay. How are you doing, sister? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. How are you, Elder?
Blessed by the Almighty.
I have a question concerning a possible, if you could say anything to it, a possible 3 day of darkness.
Okay, give me some understanding of what you're saying, what you're asking in particular.
Like, you know how right now we're going through this, everybody in the stores and the shelves being empty. Is there a reason to suspect in the future that there will be darkness, 3 days of it in the wake of all of this?
Where are you getting that from, though? What led you to that? To that question.
Specifically, I was listening to a young lady on a YouTube channel, and she's on, with a lot of things that she brings from the scriptures, but you know how sometimes people can be off, take the meat and leave the bones, and she spoke of that.
Okay. I don't mean to be, matter of fact, let me just work with you this way. Yeah. Let me work with it this way. She comes up with a 3 days of darkness that you didn't know about without explaining it, right? What that is. And and because she was up in her emotions with it, it would have us believe that maybe someplace in the scriptures moved her to that conclusion that there will be 3 days of darkness within this. So it was some truth in what she was saying that can be verified by the Bible, But this 3-day darkness came in the same with that same passionate delivery. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What scripture did she use for the 3 days of darkness?
The one in Exodus with the plagues, and kind of relates them to then and now.
Okay. I'm going to help you out, sister. Right? When it comes to end day prophecy, now, are you in the church? Are you baptized? How long have you been following the church?
I've been with the church since 2011, 12.
You're baptized?
Kind.
What city and state?
I am in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm just under 3 hours away from Elder Dale, and when I can, I make it there.
Okay. Do me a favor. You have your Bible in front of you.
Kind.
Okay. Now, mind you, is this an Israelite sister who said there will be 3 days of darkness?
Kind.
Okay. Where's her husband?
She has one, but I have never seen him.
Okay. All right. Let's go to 1 John 4:1.
Okay.
Let me ask. If there was a Jezebel spirit, would you be able to recognize that spirit?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 1 John 4:1.
Okay.
Read it.
Oh, okay.
Read it.
Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
Okay. So, believe not every spirit. How do you try a spirit, sister?
How do I describe a spirit?
No, when it says, but try the spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether they are of God, how do you determine or try a spirit to know whether it's of the Most High? How do you do that?
Well, if they're speaking scripture for one.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they're saying, like with the book.
Exactly. You weigh what they're saying with the books. Like, there's nothing that Christ said do when it comes to the word or receiving the word, that you receive what you believe is right and spit out the bones.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying everything to see if it's of the Most High. Let me tell you, if she's bringing some half-truths and falsehoods, I'm not receiving none of it, because it discredits what we believe is true. I'm not dealing with none of it. Like, if she can't show me in the Bible where there will be 3 days of darkness according to Christ's prophecies concerning the last days, I'd have now filtered her through Christ's words and have put her in the category of false. Like for instance, when I told people to get their passports and do certain things that they would need to do to travel, I was doing that basically saying that you're not going to be able to go from city to city unless you have certain credentials, because in Esdras it said they're going to cut off the different cities and a man will not be able to travel from city to city. See? Giving real-time help to overcome what we know will happen prophetically in our time. See that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you something about 3 days of darkness that I can't find anywhere in the scriptures. Right? So what I'm trying to tell you, and you're not being reprimanded here, is going to come a time, sister, in which you might not have access to us to verify what's right or wrong. You're going to have to understand within your own heart and your own learning on how to decipher good from evil by trusting in the word and knowing the word. In which you're not going to need Elder Ricard Shiar to verify whether or not what you've heard was true. Because you've read this word, you tried the spirit, and now, and see, this is where I get that statement from years ago that you heard me say over and over again, quote, what scripture is that? Because I learned to cut through the chase. I've seen people way up into the spirit believing they were being moved by his spirit. And I used to cut it off right after they finished and say, okay, that's deep. Seemed like you was up in the heavens on that one, third or fourth heaven. What scripture is that? And they come right back down, and then they start looking around, and then they run down the street. Never get caught up in strictly emotion, sister. You can be moved. You can be guided wrongfully that way. Always confirm everything through the word. So I can't say that there will be a 3 days of darkness or won't be 3 days of darkness, but I've never read that in the Bible.
Okay.
Right? But I'm trying to teach you here, because you can easily be dissuaded, tossed to or fro. There's many people out there that are leading through emotions. Let me tell you, that's been the Christian modus operandi. Their whole thing is the heart and the feeling, and God showed me, he gave me a word, and we must prepare. Listen, I'm not into all that. I'm into this word. I'm into the direction according to the directions given through the disciples. You got it?
I got it. Yep.
Anything else?
No, that'll be it.
Where you from?
Hey, I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay. So I take it you've been gathering with the church in Detroit.
Yes, when I make it there. They're about just under 3 hours away.
Okay. Well, we're going to see what we can do, get something closer to you, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. The water. Next call.
Yes, sir. 609, last four digits, 0047.
Yes. Oh, hey.
Shalom. How are you?
Hello. Hello. Well, I had a fast question to ask you.
Sure.
How can I join the body and get baptized?
Your city and state?
South Jersey, inside Raleigh.
Okay, so you're close to Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay, write down his number. I'll give you a phone number to Bishop Amar, and we'll work it out. Will you come within the congregation, and we'll begin. How long have you been following the church?
2 years now.
Okay, you in South Jersey, been following 2 years. So it's not just because of the emergencies that have drummed up and where we are in prophecy that you're trying to come together now. It wouldn't be wrong if it was, but I just need to know.
Huh?
It's been 2 years. What have been the holdup?
Oh no, because I was still in the world and stuff like that, and stuff like that.
In the world, give me, expound. In the world, what's that?
Smoking and stuff like that.
Smoking what?
And,
Smoking what? Marijuana?
Yes.
Okay, you stopped?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
And I feel that is like time changed my life. Full throttle.
Okay, so you was going through some struggles, but now you believe that now you to a point where you no longer want to walk as that old man.
Yes.
That have been bogging you down, and you've come to a conclusion to get it right and put in some work for the kingdom.
Yes.
Well, let me put this out to you, brother, and we'll accept you. You got his name and number?
What's your name, brother?
Write down his number, Lord.
Oh, Wayne Carter.
We're going to have our deacons at the church, one of the deacons at the church, contact you for the Philadelphia congregation. But let me tell you, you didn't have to wait until you concluded that you would no longer use or do certain things in the world to come to the knowledge of the truth, to come in.
Yes.
For real? Okay. That's some of the Christian thinking out there in the world, that I'm not right enough to come amongst the body. There's still some things I need to work out. God, I grew up and hear my aunts and them make the quote, God ain't through with me yet right now and here. There's some things I gotta work out before, I come to church and all that. No, that's a backward thinking that's within our community. It's when we're in sin. It's when we're in the most darkest moments that we need the body, that we need help. You understand? It's at that time. Because the Most High had enough grace on us to preserve us to a degree in which we could get baptized and begin a new life under his covenant. See? So when John was teaching the baptism and saying, repent for the kingdom is at hand, he wasn't saying go straighten out your life and decide when you're going to come. He's like, no, repent now. Be right now. Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. Right? And I'm not coming down on you. I know other people are listening who might have been struggling in those same areas and believe that because they're under some type of darkness of sin, they're not prepared to come forth and lay down their sins or get help with them. Okay?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're in sin, no matter what the sin is, no matter what you're dealing with. The time is now. Okay?
Come.
All right, brother. It's gonna be beautiful warring with you, man. I hope you're willing to listen.
Yes.
I hope you're willing to listen now.
Yes.
Okay, listen and be built. That's good. All right, my brother.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Welcome to the body. We're gonna have a deacon reach out to you.
All right, thank you.
All right, shalom. Let's get the next one.
All right, we got 917, last four digits, 4169.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, how are you?
Blessed by the best.
His name is Ahia. Talk to us.
All praises be to the Most High. I wanted to ask, because we were getting ready for the Passover.
Yeah.
They have it in Pittsburgh, like they said, only they don't allow more than 200 people gathered together. So even though we're not having the Passover there, what is the criteria if the rule is changed in the different states that do not allow a lot of people to get together?
Okay, I'm glad you answered it. I think I answered it more so in detail because it's, it switches as far as occupancy in the venues from state to state. I had a meeting with the elders and the deacons last night, including the brother in Pittsburgh. He was in the meeting. And all in all, we're going to have the Passover there. We're going to have all the Passovers are going to be in their respective locales. So the only thing you have to do is link in with the deacon or the elder we have there, and he's going to direct you for the Passover this coming Friday sundown. Some going to do it Friday sundown, some going to do it Saturday sundown, but we're going to do it on that day for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. We good. If you were a part of the original gathering for the Passover in Pittsburgh, you have a place to do the Passover with the family there.
Yeah, I already planned to attend with my family.
Okay.
But I'm in the New York group, so the New York body.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you good.
Alrighty.
Oh, you don't have to worry about the number at all. The only thing you have to do is attend. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's go to the next one, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Moving on.
And speaking of that, speaking of gathering, sometimes what I would like to do is go into the see what's going on in the Jewish community when it comes to these particular situations and see how they handling things. Let's see. Let's see. Web Today. There it is. Let's see what we have there. Okay. Jewish Telegraphic Agency since 1917. Top news. Coronavirus in the Jewish community, the latest. Let's see if something is going on in which they're under some of the same restrictions the rest of the world. I mean, because maybe this thing borders just, maybe it's just confounded into black communities. I don't know. Let's see. How are they handling gathering together in these synagogues? As United States, as the coronavirus epidemic looms, American Jews brace for Shabbat like no other. March 13, 2020. Okay, let's see what we're going to do on Sabbath here. Somebody wrapped a purple ribbon around a tree. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Let's see here. New York, as of Thursday, Alex Matthews felt confident that, let me blow it up for you here. Alex Matthews felt confident that the synagogue he leads in Newburyport, Massachusetts would be able to hold services as scheduled this Shabbat. Nothing to see here. Things are going to go on as normal. But they telling us in the hood, hey, you may not be on that corner shooting dice. 3 or 4 people get together, martial law. Mm-hmm. Even as growing numbers of Jewish communities began shutting down schools and synagogues, that's interesting, and when possible, moving operations online, Congregation Ahavas Hashem sent an email to its membership announcing its intention to hold prayers as planned on Sabbath morning. So they're going to do operations as normal. But as the day unfolded Thursday, cancellation emails came flooding in from his colleagues elsewhere. People started getting concerned amongst his colleagues. You know how the media works. If the media is concerned, you should be concerned. By late Friday morning, the synagogue had reversed course, joining a growing consensus that the most religiously appropriate way to respond to the coronavirus epidemic is to cancel all public synagogue activities. Okay, that's where we are. If we would have had Shabbat services tomorrow morning, we would have gotten 10 to 15 people, and I would likely be the only one in the room, not an elevated risk group. I mean, where's your faith in Hashem? You know? The Lord says, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. I mean, if he parted the Red Sea and sent the plagues in Egypt, surely you should be safe worshiping that same God who delivered Israel from the tyranny of Pharaoh, right, on the Shabbat. But no, Corona transcends is the kryptonite for faith. Okay. Matthews told the Jewish Telegraphic Agency on Friday afternoon, as much as I want to continue with life as normal and provide a spiritual outlet for people, what about following the Most High? I thought you people follow the law. I think the reality on the ground needs to be the utmost caution. Okay, let's see where this is going. That approach has taken root in an ever-widening circle of Jewish communities as the Jewish world embraces for a Shabbat unlike any other. From New York to Chicago to Dallas and beyond, a cascade of communities began canceling synagogue services and other public gatherings as the Jewish Sabbath drew near. This is where it gets real interesting, brothers and sisters. And non-Orthodox communities, many synagogues have chosen to move their Shabbat services online, something that would have been unthinkable just a week ago. In Orthodox communities, where the use of electronics is strictly prohibited on Shabbat, growing numbers of synagogues made the equally unprecedented decision to cancel services entirely. Across all communities, meals and other gatherings that are typical on Shabbat have been called off. It's very painful, said Maharat Ruth Friedman of Ahev Shalom, the National Synagogue in Washington, D.C. Like many synagogues, Ahev Shalom was hopeful as recently as Thursday that I could still hold services as planned this Shabbat, even as it canceled other events deemed less central to religious life. Their one concession to the virus was moving Saturday morning services an hour earlier to communicate that this was not a time for socialization. The community would gather to perform an essential ritual of religious life and then disperse. But as the weekend drew near and after consulting with local officials, the synagogue decided even that it was not a risk they could take. We take very seriously both prayer from a religious perspective, but also really ensuring that there's community available, especially for folks who live alone, and really rely on the show, not just for the religious space, but for social communal space as well, Friedman said. So to make the decision that we're shutting doors when we never made the decision, it's very difficult. It's not something we take lightly. Now, don't forget that in the 1800s, the late 1800s, Albert Pike's letter to Manzini said that they were looking to topple all religions altogether to usher in the true God of the Masonic Freemasons, Lucifer. Right? So now they're discouraging gathering in any religious setting that leads to the Bible or the Abrahamic belief being the core foundation, to usher in Luciferian. Just remember that. I don't know if y'all forgot that. Now listen to this. I was concerned the day before yesterday, Harris told. My understanding that certain rabbis and synagogues were considering keeping their congregations, and I was alarmed at that because I thought that the reasons that they were hesitating were not in keeping with the primacy of Pakach Nefesh, of preserving human life over the consideration which are ritual, meaning the observance of Shabbat. So this is some stuff they came up with. Some of the American Jewish communities most deeply affected by the virus remain in the greater New York City area. Now, what a coincidence. When Jewish individuals were among the first confirmed cases of the disease, coincidence? And some schools and synagogues have already been shuttered for a week. Check this out, folks. In northern Jersey, the Rabbinical Council of Bergen County adopted some of the most sweeping measures to contain the spread of the disease on Thursday, when it ordered all synagogues to shut down and forbade Shabbat gatherings in people's homes, a mainstay of religious life for countless Jews in the area. There's one thing in particular y'all need to see, folks. Check this out. You know, I'm checking out what the Muslims doing. I'm checking out everything, right? Right here it says, there's one thing. It says here, check this out. This is going to interest you. At the Sky Lake Synagogue in North Miami Beach, services are going ahead as scheduled this Sabbath. So in Miami, they going forth with their Sabbaths. No post-service Kiddush, no meals, no social events. Congregants are being urged to bring their own prayer books, to keep ample distance from one another, and to avoid kissing the Torah. as it is traditional. 3 weddings in the community have been canceled. Okay, so there are some who are actually still gathering in certain cities. Check this out. One synagogue that had a particularly fraught meeting this week was congregating Beit Shemchat Torah in Manhattan, which faced an acute dilemma. Naomi Springer Gauss was due to celebrate her bat mitzvah. That's something that we don't know about in the Bible. At the synagogue in the Torah, at the synagogue on Saturday morning. Oh, here we go. On Thursday, the LBGTQ Friendly Synagogue announced that it would still hold services. So the friendly Torah believing gay community has a synagogue and services. Boy, what I would pay to be a fly on the wall in that particular Torah reading when they read Leviticus 20 and 13, when they go into that Leviticus. I would like to be a fly on the wall when it says if a man lie with mankind, when he lie with a woman, he should surely be put to death. I wonder how they breaking that down. But anyway, on Thursday, the LGBTQ friendly synagogue, that's pretty sweet, announced that it would still hold services, but asked only close family and friends to attend in person. Everyone else was invited to follow along on Facebook live stream. All right? Yeah, that's what they doing. All right, you can take whatever you want from that. Yeah, it's the end of the world. But who we have right now?
Yes, sir. We have 773, last 4 digits, 6307.
Did you know about an LGBTQ friendly synagogue?
Yes, sir.
Man, this is getting weird by the second. All right, talk to us. You're live.
Hello?
Shalom, you're live.
Shalom, elders. How you doing?
We're blessed by the Almighty. Talk to us.
That's good. Hey, I've been following you guys for the last 11 years, and you have changed my life tremendously. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, you're live,
Hello?
brother. Go on.
Oh, I was saying, I've been following you guys for 11 years, and you guys have changed my life tremendously. When I first ran into your video, my wife was pregnant, and you changed my life, and I've been trying to follow the commandments and follow the doctrine to a T. And I lived in Chicago. There wasn't a body there. And once I moved out of Chicago, you guys set up a church there. Now I moved to Memphis, Tennessee. Now I would like to see if there's a church here in Tennessee because I need to be baptized. But you guys changed my life to the positive, and I've been following you guys for a long time.
Okay, Elder Lawyer, you want to answer to that, being over the South?
Yes, sir. We don't have an official weekly gathering in Tennessee. However, we do have a strong following there of brothers and sisters that we can link you into.
Hey, excuse me, Elder Lord, you're like breaking up a little bit. You're going in and out.
Yeah, you can get closer if you don't mind. You can get closer.
Yes, sir. So I was just mentioning that we don't have an official weekly Sabbath gathering. We do have a strong following there. Okay, brothers and sisters who they do come together from time to time for holy days, but there's no weekly fellowship there. We are seeking to set up the weekly fellowship according to what we were stating earlier, the telecast, so on and so forth. So what I'll do is I'll take down your number, and we will provide you with information on how you can become a part of that fellowship and that future telecast.
Thank you. Let me know when you're ready for the phone number.
No, we have it in front of you. Is this your cell phone number, the 773 number on our screen?
Yes, it's my cell phone number.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Lamont Moore.
Lamont? You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Like Lamont Sanford.
Okay. How old are you?
46.
How long have you been following the church?
2009.
Oh man, you there in the beginning. Say, okay, I see why you call. You see everything that we've been talking about from the beginning in this word coming into fruition, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, I've been following it, and what you've been displaying has been I've been witnessing from beginning to A to Z. I just have not been baptized, but I am following you, and you changed my life tremendously, brother. Tremendously.
Well, all praises be to the Most High. It's the Most High, and we commend you for stepping to the plate. Okay, hey, brother, it's time to come in. It's time to do it now, right? So,
Yeah.
So we look forward to gathering with you and setting this thing up. Since you've been following us, you shouldn't be too far off with the doctrine because you've seen this thing from its inception. So I thank you for standing strong and being patient. And we're going to get to you, brother, and you're going to help us in this work. We're going to help each other, right?
Oh, most definitely. And I just want to say I have been purchasing. Products off of the website. I have been part of the academy class. I've been going through the steps. I just have not been baptized. And what I've been learning, it has been elevating my family and myself. And I just need to be baptized to bring this thing forward.
I'll tell you what, brother, and I'll give you the last word in this before we go to the next call. Let me tell you, since all this been going down, I don't have to do too much. Let me tell you, I don't have to say too much to convince my family now, or those who wasn't listening, that what we've been saying, that the Bible is true. It seems now that we can use less scriptures now.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been listening and watching the whole time, but sitting idle to see whether or not there was any merit to it before they would finally decide to think that, you know what, maybe there is something to what y'all been telling us for the last decade or so. It's not going to take too much work to have people, choose the Most High with what's coming down the pipeline with the New World Order's military. I'll tell you that. It's not going to take much, but go on.
What people have been realizing is that as a community,
Yes, yeah, you have the last word.
I've been following you guys, and as a community, we've all been, we've been following Islam, we've been following Buddhism, we've been following all type of religion, but no religion has put it in front of our face like the Holy Scriptures. We've been running away from it because we've been indoctrinated. Oh, this is a white man's book. But the way you break it down in layman's terms, where the stupid of the stupidest can understand it, you brought it forth. And I'm a witness to it. I'm telling you, brother, God bless you. I thank you 1,000, 1,000,000% for what the Most High has to give to us. I thank you.
Well, thank you, brother.
And Elder Lawyer, yeah. I thank you because when the elder is prophesying, you go into the scriptures and you bring out what he's trying to say. The Most High is giving you that clarity. Thank you. Thank you.
All praises.
All praises. Thank you. We thank you. Let's do it. And hopefully you'll be breaking down these scriptures beside us. And someone will be thanking you. One man planteth, another man watereth, but it's the Most High who gives the increase. All right, what's next?
All right, we got 338 or no 336 last four.
Oh yeah, let me put this out there real quick because you're gonna have people coming in to try to divert the work. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you right now, don't be listening to those people talking about going to certain countries like Jordan. If y'all, I'm gonna show you what's going to be. Let me give it to you real quick. This is what you're going to see in Jordan in a couple of minutes, right? That's what you're going to see in Jordan. That's a strike the other day in Iraq. And soon as they strike Iran and declare war, you're going to understand why they use this corona thing as a cover to put the military infrastructure in place. This is war. Corona is just a psyop so that they can actually move the police and all that out of the way and replace it with National Guard and military. That's what's happening right now under our noses. So y'all listen to those people and go over into Jordan if you want. If they know what we know, they would get out of there. Because the Bible tell you about that land of Lot. How Moab and Ammon is going to get judged for blocking off the way when we were escaping Jerusalem in 70 AD. They're going to get judged for that. I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. I told y'all before, don't even look at Russia. Russia is part of the 10 horns, folks. Keep your eye on Iran. When they strike Iran and declare war, folks, the Bible tell you that those missiles are going to hit over in Israel, but the people that are running things in Israel aren't going to care. I'm talking about the hierarchy, because they're going to flee into Kittim, which is parts of Cyprus, and then they're going back to Italy. They're going back to Rome. So that whole land is going to be decimated before Christ returns. I'm speaking of Israel, Jordan, Palestine, all of that is going to get dealt with according to the word. You got this girl that was over there with Ben Ami and all that crap, and then she seen we was talking about fleeing, so she tried to, that thing fell, and she tried to jump on the Gathered of Christ Church as if she was with us the whole time. Folks, don't go to Jordan. Or, it's your life. Go there if you would like. It's up to you though. You've been warned. Another thing, you have people that may go to Cairo and all that. We don't have nothing there in Cairo. We have people who've learned all over the earth. If it's not from our mouths, I don't care what people are banking on is people in the United States panicking, and you panicking and jump out of the frying pan into the fire. If it's not about going someplace to spread the gospel and to do Christ's will and to be amongst like-minded people in the ministry for the ministry, beware of it. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. What's next, Ted?
All right, we have 336, last 4 digits, 6092.
So somebody say what land? A land of a church to be guided. Wherever land you on, learn under a church. Learn under the leadership and the guidance of those who are actually giving you the information. Because it doesn't matter if you go into another country without leadership anyway, without guidance. You're just going to just suffer whatever happens in that particular area. Okay? Let's go.
Mm-hmm. If I can mention as well, I know in the past, not anyone particular, but I used to hear as well when we bring out, make preparations, prepare, store up food and water. And one of the responses you would get, here and there is, well, why worry about that if we're fleeing anyway? Not realizing that, as we're mentioning, this movement comes in phases. It comes in layers. It's not like everyone is going to go somewhere all at once. You understand? And be in another country all at once. This comes in phases. So you have to prepare for as many situations as possible. So right now you're seeing the importance of actually going out, making sure you have what you need to be at least somewhat stable while we're still here.
Okay, I'm getting some thank you, lawyer, for that. I'm getting some real-time reports. The National Guard has already been deployed. I heard about that in different areas. They have been deployed. Another thing just came in about 15, 20 minutes ago is that now there's been a ban on the UK. People cannot fly into the United States from the United Kingdom. For those who've missed us from the beginning, we've been on for hours, and I made sure we made this an extended broadcast for a reason on this Sabbath, is because they gave us a 2-week window, and that 2-week window actually ends on the official biblical end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread according to the 364-day Sabbath calendar. And I said it earlier, 2 weeks. That's the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Next week, which is one of the greatest gatherings we could come together, where the heavens are celebrating the Passover the same time we should be celebrating it on earth. And they're making it where people can't gather. And then there's another week, 7 days, Feast of Unleavened Bread. They're giving us up in that time, the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, to tell us whether or not things will go back normal, to give us an update of whether or not there'll be school or life as we've known it afterwards. Okay? And that's where we are right now. What we're saying is, look at what they're doing now. They're deploying all over the earth military. They're shutting everything down for what they're about to do next. Corona or no corona. Okay? And then in 2 weeks, we're going to get a report on what happens next. Well, we just found out things are so fluid. Things are changing by the hour. They've deployed the military in certain areas. They put out a story earlier today to say that they're going to cut off the buying of firearms, alcohol, and gatherings in Chicago altogether, which is really lighting a power keg, a bomb to explode, because when you do that, those that have the guns, who are the criminals, are going to take over. It's going to be war in the streets when there's a lack of bread. Masada all together in Chicago, like they try to create a riot, incendiary type of environment, knowing at the end of the day, if you cut off food, don't allow these people to gather, they can't get guns, can't get alcohol, they can't get anything, all the stores are closed and there's no clubs. The criminal element will take over, and that's when they're going to send in the National Guard there. The cat got out of the bag today on that, and what did they do? They reeled the story back because it was out too early. They started to reel it back and say, well, it was reported on the Washington Examiner that they're going to be stopping all purchases of firearms in Chicago, and it was in the news. Then they reeled it back a few hours afterwards. We're eyeing this 2 weeks and see what happens at the end of this 10 to 14 day period they put out there for all of industry within the United States. That's what we're eyeing right now. We're saying in the midst of that, for those who understand, get prepared physically, and above all, prepare spiritually. Anything that we've been doing wrong, any sins we've been committing, it's time to come all the way under the hedge of the Most High. What we're going to do, speeding up our ministry, understanding that things has changed already, is make sure the areas we don't have a church, there'll be a telecast, or what you would call closed circuit TV, in which you can follow us in your respective areas. We're going to tell people where to go to actually follow us as we direct you through this into a church. Okay? What's next?
All right, we have, I believe it was 336, last four digits, 6092.
Well, someone asked, where is the exact place of the wilderness? Man, I taught that what? I taught that 10 years ago. The exact place borders what you would call Saudi Arabia. The mountain is still there, Mount Sinai, not the one in Egypt. The one that borders Saudi Arabia at the tongue of the sea. It's gated off till this day. Even the Arab powers and authority know not to go around or touch that mountain. Okay? The 12 pillars that our forefathers placed there upon the Exodus is still in that area. That's where we'll eventually be. Okay? Let's go.
All right, 336.
Shalom, elders.
Shalom.
Shalom, talk to us.
My name is Kyan Williams. I'm currently in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I was looking for a gathering. I recently, like a month or so, had put in a questionnaire for GOCC South, and I was supposed to receive an invitation to the church with either Charlotte or Raleigh, North Carolina. Either one can do, that's fine. But I've been watching you brothers for 5 years, and I have to say that you brothers are preaching the truth. And I've been introduced to you guys from a lady. Her name is Corinthia, and she told me about you guys. I watched you on YouTube, and you opened my mind. You opened my eyes. I started to see the truth, and I really want to thank you, brothers, for everything that you all have done and continue to do what you do. If you can, I would love to receive an invitation to either one, Charlotte or Raleigh, the body in them two locations if possible. So if you please can take down my number.
Okay, we're going to take it down right now, brother. You won't be getting the call. But I'm going to tell you, man, make haste. Make sure you get with the body. Because soon, like I said earlier, right now, I had a meeting with the elders and the deacons throughout the earth that have been teaching the ministry, that's in the ministry. And now we're more so leaning inwardly. These are the people the Most High entrusted us to guide who are baptized. Let's focus on what we can do and how much we can accumulate in assets or whatever to make sure these people entrusted under our guidance are guided and are helped through what's coming. So the world is too vast for us to concentrate on that. It will come a time for the teaching, then it comes a time for the hunting. Okay, the teaching and the fishing, who knows? Based on not being able to congregate, that time could be here. We're going to know in 2 weeks. And we have to focus on the people who are within the body. Not to say that we're not going to be putting out the messages, but we can only prepare. We only have enough based on the people who are contributing to prepare for this. And that's just the reality, unless the Most High bring in a windfall, because we can't do this without finances. Help all these people. So that's the meeting we had last night. Okay, so just come on through and let's work. Let's see what we can do to prepare for these, to make a preparation for these people. Okay?
Khan.
What's your name again, brother?
Khan. My name is Kaheem Williams.
How do you spell
And
that?
if I can tell you something, Elder Ricard, I actually joined the church, and I thought they was affiliated with the GOCC here in Winston-Salem. This was maybe like 5 years ago, and that church, it was just, it was something about them I couldn't explain, but they were trying to go to Ghana, and somehow, from what I heard, the story was that, I guess there was a discourse between you two or whatever. I guess they were saying that they were throwing up signs, and I was looking at, they were saying that you were throwing up signs or whatever. So I was looking at, I was listening to what they were saying, and I was like, there's no way this brother is of any cult. There's no way he's throwing up Freemason signs, and I was looking at them and I was like, I don't think this is the church that I want to be with, because these brothers that I've been looking at on GOCC, they've been preaching the truth from day one, and they've been in this Bible. And so that group actually went to Guyana, and I don't know what happened with them, but I not stayed in touch with them. So I've been with y'all since the beginning.
Well,
Since the start of me waking up in the truth, I've been with you guys, and I've just been observing you. And y'all, I'm telling you, you brothers, you are it. Y'all are it.
Hey, we're your servants, brothers. I appreciate you, brother. We're going to contact you, and you bring your brick. We're going to need each other. Understand that. Okay, everyone has their unique gift the Most High given them, and within this ministry, we just have to get the body together. That's why it's called the Gathering of Christ Church. I can only do my part, but you have a part to play, brother. You do. And I want to say this. I heard years ago that there was a brother over in North Carolina. At one time, he stood up amongst people and just stopped the videos and stopped my hands and say that I was throwing up stuff. And it was weird to me because, you know, I was gesturing. I mean, I only have 5 fingers. So if my head get tired, sometimes I do like this. I don't know what I'm throwing up, but I'm like, and it made me look inward and question. I'm like, Lord, what is this? I mean, what did they see that led them to gather with us?
Mm.
If this is what they're concluding, what did they see? Because they're not looking at the word. They're not filtering things through the word. They are pausing with my every gesture and claiming that I'm communicating with someone. But Christ said, listen, the servant is not more worthy than his master. If I suffer these things, know ye ought to suffer these things also. I mean, they were calling Christ Beelzebub, Satan. And it's like, what do someone have to do for you to know that the Most High has sent someone to help you or have raised someone in the word to help you? What do they have to do? It's weird to me, man. And the question is, can Satan cast out Satan? If I'm working for the other side, man, I'm doing a horrible job. They should have got rid of me a long time ago. Because many people are coming to the law, statutes, and commandments and following the Most High and believe in Christ. Atheists, people who told me they didn't even believe the Bible before they ran into our videos. Because the Christians couldn't convince them that this Bible was real. People who didn't know God found the truth through the Gathering Christ Church and believe this Bible and teach it now. When I met Gaja was a starch, conscience, working for a black conscious radio station ran by Nuwabics who didn't believe the Bible at all. So Satan would send me in there to convert him into understanding the word? I'm like, what are they looking at? But really, it wasn't about the hand signs at all. It wasn't about that. It was about what they wanted to do in their heart that they knew that we as elders would disagree with. Mm-hmm. So in order to justify their actions, they have to convince themselves that what they believed originally about us in this church isn't true. So that they can walk with a pure conscience and doing what was ever in their heart the whole time, without being convicted because he's throwing up signs. He's doing this or he's doing that. Now they're justified in their evil, wicked intentions. But it's their life. Many are called, but few are chosen. Ye that endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So if they rejected Christ and called him Satan, I mean, I think the Most High that you got to go through those types of measures to a degree where you don't have much. So the only thing you got is to pause at my every gesture, right, and say, "Look, he's delivering up a message now. A message to who, brother? Mm-hmm. You see that gesture? The Illuminati. You can't see him talking to the Illuminati right there, right? The Illuminati what? It's weird to me, folks, but that's your life. What's next?
All right, moving on. We got 340, not last 4 digits, 9312.
Hello?
Hey, how are you? You found us here too, huh?
Hi. Hi, elders. Hi.
How you doing?
Shalom.
Shalom, elders.
Shalom.
I'm just thinking that, I was with the GOCC Virginia body, but since we moved to the Caribbean, I have their numbers and so, but I don't, and we contact
stay in connection, but I don't have a gathering, for my family. We do the academy, we look at the law lessons, the Sabbath lessons, and all that. But I was just wondering, I know that, it's spread thin, so, where we would gather. We were baptized, our whole family, except for my two little girls, with the church in Virginia. And so I was just wondering, like maybe the weekly Friday broadcast or something, I don't know, where we could gather.
Well, okay, I'm about to use my hand, Elder Lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do this real quick. All right, sister, my hands are behind my back. Okay, let me talk to you. What part of the Caribbean you living in?
Oh, in the Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands. But the Virgin Islands really, and we just go back and forth because we're so close. These islands, Puerto Rico, the BVI, and the Virgin Islands.
Why you decided to move there, living in VA?
I'm sorry, Elder?
I say, why you decided to move there when you were in Virginia? What was the reason for that, to move to the Caribbean? The weather?
Why I decided to move there, I'm just having a hard time hearing, that's all. Why I decided to move?
Yeah.
Oh, because, well, my grandmother, she actually passed away.
Sorry about that.
Last year, she was 102.
Yeah.
And I was trying to spend time. A lot of older folks were there, and just in general, my family knew that we were gonna move, back to be closer to family and stuff like that.
You got a number?
I didn't want to move because I love my Virginia body. I love them so much. But,
Okay.
and it's really different being in the body than being outside of it. But we keep the Shabbats, we keep all the feast days, we get the calendar, everything. I stay in contact, I get the emails and all that from the body. But, I just was wondering if there was, some place, like say for Passover, that we could congregate. But if not, it's okay.
Okay. Put Passover there. We're going to see what we can do for her. All right. We're going to call you. I'm going to have the deacons and elders from the Caribbean reach out to you, see if we can gather for the Passover there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. What's your name, sister?
Let me get your name again.
Okay. It's Sister Lee, a.k.a. West India.
Okay. Bless you. All right. All right, sister. I'm about to use my hands. I can't do it anymore. All right. The water. We're going to call you soon.
Oh, thank you, Elder. Bless you.
All right. Bless you. Shalom.
Shalom. Bye.
All right. We're going to take a few more, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. We have 323, last four digits, 2467.
Yeah.
I think I'm about to be on.
Oh, yeah, you're on, brother. You're on. You're not about to be. You're here. You're here, brother.
Hi, good afternoon, brothers.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, my wife was baptized by some brothers from GOCC, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your phone is going in and out. Are you trying to hear us the same time you're talking, or is what's going on there?
Okay. So, hold on, mute that. Okay. So my wife was baptized from some people from GOCC, but can no longer be found.
You say some people from GOCC who can no longer be found.
Yes, I hear you guys, but I've been trying to get baptized, but all the people around me, these Hebrew camps, they don't believe in a high and Yeshua. They believe in Yeshua, Jesus and all that. So
I'm gonna tell you right now. Those whatever camps or you talk about, they got bigger issues than not believing in just the name Ahia and Yeshaya, because I know some people that are calling on Ahia and Yeshaya and it's off like you wouldn't believe. So you're gonna need more. You're gonna need a greater measuring tool or a sifting tool than whether or not someone is calling on Ahia and Yeshaya. Many people looked at that video we put out there in 2009, the true name of the Most High. Many people, and it's a lot of whack jobs out there using Ahia and Yeshaya. I'm going to be straight with you. Right. You got some guy running around with the Mormon book, with the Joseph Smith Mormon book, but he learned the name of the Most High from us. So I need you to more so just not focus on the name of the Most High in Christ, but the doctrine that Christ left to determine what's right or wrong. But I understand what you're saying, that other groups that make proselytes in your area and have a presence there, but we don't. It's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So the question is, I am in Los Angeles, South Central Los Angeles, and I have no idea where you guys are. So I'm trying to get with you.
Oh, well, we could have been linked you in with Los Angeles. We could take down his name and number. We have a church there.
You say you have a church in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Is there a way you can text me the address or whatever, so you can contact me?
We have your number, and we'll have our elders reach out to you. We'll have Elder Iraq reach out to you.
Let me get your name, brother.
My name is Eugene.
Eugene.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. This is the first time we ever did something like this on the Sabbath. This is different.
Yes, sir.
I guess in the midst of the troubles, we have to spend this extra time because I know everyone. There's people out there. My phone's been ringing off the hook. Everything that the Most High prophesied, what showed us through Christ, is actually happening, and I think people understand the urgency as of now, based on it's real time now. It's no longer us warning people from what's to come. It's no longer, well, you can look out for this and look out for that. It's here. Mm-hmm. Right. So I understand it. All right, next number.
We have 386, last four digits 5450.
Yes.
Hello?
Oh, yes, I can hear myself in the background. Can you mute the background?
Oh, sorry about that, Elder.
No problem, sir.
Shalom, Elder Ricard and Elder Loya. I spoke with you about a month and a half ago. This is Brother Nicarlos, a baptized member of the church for about 4 years now, and my wife's also baptized. This was regarding my mom that had cancer in Jamaica.
Okay.
She's recently passed.
I'm sorry about that.
And I appreciate it. Yeah, we put her to rest a few weeks ago. I tell you, the body in Jamaica was amazing. Montego Bay, Elder Gaja was able to come through and do the service for us, and the brothers were there. So wonderful with the support and everything else. And I just want to give them a shout out for everything they did for us while we were there and all the help that was provided. The church, the body there is amazing. We're currently here in Salt Lake City, Utah. I just wanted to kind of give a heads up that we don't have a body here, and we definitely don't want to be left out. So I just wanted to kind of put that out. We've been doing everything we needed to do. The Most High blessed me to get this message, and I was able to pass it on to my mom before she passed away. She was able to get baptized, and my sister's also baptized there in Montego Bay. She gathers as well there. When I put my mom to rest, one thing I wanted to mention, when I put her to rest, and 7 days after, because we buried her on a Sunday, and the Sunday after, I dreamt her in a dream, and she looked so at peace, so beautiful, and she was clean. She was laying down, looked so wonderful.
And it's like I was crying. I was like, I'm sorry this happened to you. And she was laughing. She laughed, looked at me and laughed. And then she looked at my stepdad because he's not yet baptized. She said to him, listen, stop calling on this Jesus name. We call on Yeshua. We don't call on those names anymore. Like she said it in a stern tone to let him know, like, listen, you need to drop that. You need to drop that now. And that's how she was. That's how I knew her. She was always trying to push him to do the right thing. And it just made me feel so at peace since then in my heart to know that she is resting in the bosom of Abraham. And I'm just so at peace since that time. And I just want to give all praises to the Most High. I want to thank him as well for blessing you guys to give us this message and bring us into this truth. And I tell you, man, we with you. We with you here, 100%.
Praise the Most High, brother. And y'all have a gathering there, right?
Yeah, we don't have a gathering here in Salt Lake City, Utah here. We'd love to be in contact with someone, but we don't have a gathering. I've just been following you online as I have every Sabbath and Wednesdays and so forth. I've been in academies, 3 academies now, and I tell you that the amount of information in those academies. I mean, once I went through the first academy years ago, that was it for me. Once I got all that information, I've never looked back since.
Okay, brother. Well, we're going to have a telecast directly from there in which we'll be teaching live. You can help us work with setting up one there. And we need to do these all at once. So start looking at a location that can hold about 50 people or whatever the case is. I'll call you. We'll talk about it. And we're going to have just pop-up places where we're teaching and giving the information on what to do in these times until we're there. All right. Now let me have your name again. And again, you got my deepest condolences. But I'm glad during the time you were asleep that your mother was able to assure you that she's fine. That's that bosom of Abraham. Okay. All right.
Yes. It's Brother Nick Carlos. And I texted you a couple days ago too as well. So you should have my direct cell. I sent you a text. Otherwise, but yeah, it's Brother Nick Carlos. I go by Nick.
Okay. Carlos though, right? Dick Carlos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, brother. Thank you, man, and we're gonna be reaching out to you. Okay.
All right. I appreciate you, Elder. God bless you, and praise the Most High, and thank you guys, like I said again, for everything you guys do. You guys have been awesome, consistent with the message, and there's a lot of people out here that need this truth, and a lot of people that get it and still don't want to believe. Well, everything that you've said has been coming through, so they need to start listening now and get themselves ready.
Oh, we're here. So we're here, and we're going to just do the will of the Father until we can't no more, and you utilize this technology as long as it's afforded to us. All right? Thank you. I appreciate you, my brother.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. No problem. Let's go to the next one.
All right, we have 804, last 4 digits, 2638.
Shalom.
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 I'm from the California church. I'm the elder Iraq, and I've been following you guys for like 5 years. But I got a sister who's in North Carolina, and she's been watching the videos for like 8 months. And it's kind of funny because the guy just called from North Carolina, and it was the same situation with my sister. She put in we got sent her email and everything. She gave her information, and she wasn't able to get back in contact with you guys. I'm trying to get her situated. She's a little frustrated, but I said not to worry. I'll call in and everything for her. So I was wondering if you guys could take her name and give her a call.
Oh, yeah. We'll give you a call, and you can give me all the information that's needed to reach her.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me get your name, brother.
Brother Jones. It's Joemi.
You have it?
Yes, sir.
And, I'm with the California church. And, my sister, she's been watching you guys for about 8 months now.
Okay. And it's about to go down in California. Iraq has a message that we gave him to deliver to y'all between now and the Passover. So make sure you're there in church.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right.
So we're going to reach out.
Well, thank you, Elder.
No problem. We're going to reach out, get the number, and take it from there. All right.
All right, sounds good. Shalom. Water.
Shalom. All right.
Shalom.
Let me read this real quick before you get it. I'm in Daniel, the 9th chapter. It says 9 and 24 speaks that 70 weeks are determined upon the people, speaking of the children of Israel, God's chosen people, and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression. When it says finish the transgression, Israel will go through a punishment for a certain amount of time for our transgressions against the old covenant. And to make an end of sins, which is Christ's blood, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, which is our sin, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. So that's a time period in which Israel, God's people, not some physical temple somewhere, is coming back to the knowledge, being refined from one generation to the next until we come to this knowledge you're hearing today. That we're the true children of Israel, and through his blood we will receive and uphold and be the enforcers of the new covenant. And after 62 weeks shall the Messiah be cut off. That was prophesied that Christ would get crucified in the Old Testament, for those who believe that Christ wasn't prophesied in the Old Testament. But not for himself. And the prince and the people of the prince, which are the Roman Empire, the prince is speaking of here is Satan, shall come and shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The Romans came in and destroyed us in 70 AD. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, which are the lies they begin to teach through their Roman Catholic deception and using Islam also. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined. So this has been war against us, not just physical war, psychological war, and spiritual war that was prophesied through the prophet Daniel. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. The sacrifice is what? Our daily bread, food. So eventually they would make it where our food consumption, or us praying over our food, they would make the prince or the people of the prince will shut off our food supply, where we can't pray to our food, pray over our food to our God. Our daily sacrifice is what? Our daily food. That's what we're seeing right now. And in the midst of that week, speaking of that last week, that last Jubilee, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Speaking of cutting off food and water. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Their full objective is to come against those of the desolate, those that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, the children of Israel. Now, when they set up this system, Revelation tell us in the 13th chapter that they're going to set up a new system, the mark of the beast, where no man can buy or sell, making money, demonizing money, saying that, well, when you use money to actually exchange, there's a chance someone can get a virus. Mm-hmm. So we have to reset everything so that now we have an electronic system, a new monetary system that doesn't require touching people, mm-hmm, or the exchange of bodily fluids or sweat or anything. We're living in Bible prophecy right now when you link it up. Now, it tells you in the book of Daniel with these weeks that there's 3.5 years. The last 3.5 years of that first week. But we have up until a certain time to leave or to be in the wilderness beyond that 3.5 years when they set up the famine. That's the next phase we'll be talking about in this in itself. And we're going to be discussing this not only with the body, but online also, dropping these weeks where we're at in the weeks and what to do so that we'll have enough to get from point A to point B, because at a time period that the Most High will allot us to get to certain areas that Christ will deliver us from in due time. Now, put that out there. We're not dealing with the Julian calendar or the Gregorian calendar. The Most High have already resolved everything for us. It was always in the Sabbaths. A real year is 364 days. And the seasons have always been in course, 364 days, regardless of what the Romans would do. The Most High gave us back that calendar. It's right here. You want to stay on time and know where the real Passover is? And how to track Jubilees and all that? We've done the research for you. You don't even got to do it. We did it for you. Go to Gathering Christ Church. Go to Gathering Christ Church, gatheringchrist.org, and get your calendar. Which means once you have a calendar, even though it's nice and decorative, it was made decorative for a reason. But so it's appealing to the eyes. But all in all, once you have one calendar, even when all this stuff shut off, you'll still be able to keep track 364 days after you're on the right time. From Sabbath to Sabbath. You'll always have the calendar once you have one. All the scriptures, it breaks it down, everything. The holy days, what days according to their calendar the real days fall on. We've already done it for you. All the scriptures that breaks it down, a full year have always been the Sabbath, folks. And the Most High put a spirit on us when it comes to time and prophecy to be able to resolve the true Passover and Sabbaths. It was in the scriptures the whole time. Mm-hmm. And the whole point is not just to follow the moon. The moon follows the sun in its course. You're supposed to use both, like your clock used 2 dials. One that shows the hour you in and the minute. See? And the minute goes until you got 2 hands. Now imagine from the course outside the earth. You got 2 hands operating. Moon that follows the sun. Just like a watch. The problem was the Babylonians said just follow the moon only. Which comes in 354 days. 10 days short every year to throw off time. Who did that? The Romans did that. Daniel 7:25 says they shall think to change times and laws. The Most High gave it to us. The nations, the Gentiles didn't give this to us. The Most High did. The one who revealed his name, Ahia, gave us the time too. So when all these other guys out there, whoever they be, Jewish or whatever, following the Passover, it's really not the Passover because nothing is going on in the heavens while they're doing it. When we follow the Passover next week, Friday sundown, it's going to be in line with the heavens. And that's why the Most High gave us the calendar. We made it comely so you can look at to get it, to be decorative so that you can have it in front of you and enjoy seeing it. But it wasn't for the pictures, folks. Okay? It's so that you can get back on time and serve the living God like Noah did, like Moses did, like the children of Israel did. He gave it to us again. And we made it nice for you. Get it. Because even when this stuff shut down, you'll stay on time every year if you have at least one calendar. I'm telling you, get the information. We're doing as much as we can to get it to you. Go to gatheringchrist.org and get this calendar. Have it. Because you're going to need it. Even when this stuff shut down, you will be on course. Until we all together. Okay? Let's go. What's next?
Yes, sir.
Man, it's 5 o'clock, man. We got to shut down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks. We've been on this thing for so long.
Mm.
Let's take 2 more calls, and then we gotta prepare ourselves for tonight and the Passover.
So we have here 2 anonymous. Okay.
It is online where you can follow it. Go to gatheringofchrist.org under Holy Days, and all the dates are there.
Go to gatheringofchrist.org.
Okay, go to the Holy Days. They're right there.
All right, Shalom, you're live.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, Elder.
Portland, Oregon. Shalom.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm with you. Talk to me.
All right, Elder. I've been following you guys for a couple years now. And I've been following you guys for a couple years now. And what happened is I've always been online doing research about finding the truth, most likely for cancer. And one day I was sitting in the house on a Sabbath. That's before I even start doing the Sabbath. And I start praying. And something said to me, God, why every time I look for a research, it's always the Gentiles that I'm coming up with the truth? Isn't anybody that look like me, walk like me, or the same race as me that got the truth? Whether it's cancer or whatever it is. And then about 7 days after that, I came up on a video on YouTube, and it was you and Elder Lawyer. And I just started crying. I don't know what happened. And then a voice just came into me and said, this is the truth you've been looking for.
Mm.
And like I said, I wasn't looking for anything spiritual or anything, but I've always been a spiritual person. I grew up in the church. My mom's is a Christian. And like I said, I wasn't looking for this. But I've always believed in God, always read the Bible, even I'm in the streets. I was always the one that everybody looked at as he gonna say something about God or he gonna say something about whatever. But I just want to say to you, I'm not here to be a hypocrite. And I'm not here to persuade anything by calling you that I'm so high in the word now or anything like that. But what I'm trying to say to you is, the word said, my sheep shall hear my voice. So what I got to say to you and the elders is, don't worry about nothing nobody say. Don't worry about anything that comes against you. You guys are more important than the president. You're more important than anybody that's walking around here on the face of the earth today. It might look like that to a lot of other people, but anybody that's listening to y'all, whether they're baptized or they're not baptized, God have a way of calling certain people. So I want you guys to stay the course. Don't let nothing get you down. Be careful. The Most High is protecting you. All of you guys. Now is the time for all the work that you have done to be revealed. So be careful. Stay on top of the game at all times, because God chose you guys specially for a reason. Don't matter what the reason is, we might never know. But hear what? There's no other institution on the face of the earth today, right now, as we speak, are being led by the Most High, like you guys are.
You might not want to hear that because you might think it's praise, but it's not praise. It's assurance to let you know that whatever y'all doing, you're being guided, my brother. So you're on the right track. And you're helping a lot of people without you even knowing this. A lot of people. I'm from Brooklyn. Get what I'm saying to you? I see the same spirit in me that I see in you and the other elders. I don't mean to hold up your time, but yo, it's a lot of things I can't say on here. Is there some way that I can link up with you off air? I'm anonymous right now, but I'm dealing with health. I got a lot of herbs. I got a lot of means of getting silver, wholesale. I have a lot of things where could help different churches, different places. Right now, Elder Gabal can link up with me, and I can show you how to get food in the tri-state area where you don't have to go and deal with supermarkets. You could buy your stuff wholesale, and you could get it over to wherever it gotta be in bulk. So you don't have to jump here and jump there, figure this out, figure that out. Whatever I can help you with, I will. So if there's a way that you can link up with me, or there's somewhere I could call back at another time and give you some information or some numbers or something, then I could do that. I just want to do that pertaining to what you guys did for me and what I'm going through in my life.
All right, let's do
You know
this.
what I'm saying to you?
Brother, let's do this. Because, as far as
I just want to let you know that.
I'm with you, brother. You know who I am. All praises be to the Most High. And I'm just keeping my head down, doing what I got to do from day to day. You understand? But I know the Most High would send those in due time who would help the body. I can only do my part. But I believe that you do have an integral part to play, and the Most High has revealed it. Let me have your name.
My name is Keno.
Okay, do me a favor. I need you to send an email. Lawyer have access to this email address. GOCC South, SOUTH, @yahoo.com. And just put your name in the subject, and that you're calling, that you called about the food resources. And I'm just putting it that way so that you'll stand out outside of everything else you said. Right? Now let me ask you, why were you looking around? Don't forget to do that. You're going to do that for me as soon as you get off the call, right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Make sure you do that as soon as I get off the call, and leave your phone number, and I'll call you personally. I know you can't do this right now. We got about 2,000 people.
All right. What I have to say to you, I'm in Brooklyn, all right?
Yeah, but I need you to send an email. GOCCSouth @yahoo.com.
Okay.
With your name and number. And I'll call you right back before tomorrow. But let me ask you this.
No problem.
You said you were calling and inquiring online, trying to figure out things about how to help with cancer. Was it because you had cancer or someone you knew?
If I had cancer?
No, you said you were looking online trying to find something about cancer or what to do with cancer, and you ran into our videos.
No, what happened was I always do this. That's my regular stuff that I do. And one day, something just came over me and was like, I started praying, and I just asked God, I said, how come every time I look for the truth or something to pertain to helping somebody or whatever, it's always a white person? Why you can't send somebody to me that looks like me?
Oh, okay.
And then 7 days later, I bucked up on a video on YouTube, and then the spirit came back again and said, this is the truth right here.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's how I started to follow you guys for the last couple of years and get to know. I mean, I'm not following everything, but it's helping me a lot with learning certain things pertaining to the truth out there and trying to find scriptures and trying to find the Lord and other things in your life and other situations that's going on. But
Yeah.
you guys, the strength that you guys have, you don't even know your strength, brother. It's way above. So that's why I know that the Most High is dealing with y'all. So it's in my heart. I've never donated to y'all. I wanted to. I've never sent anything there. It's keep bothering me, but I will get to do something.
Okay, well, listen, it's if you have a way in which we don't have to worry about these markets and we can help feed our people, we don't need. Hey, that's more than money in this time. So, hey, whatever you bring in, just bring it, and we'll pull our resources. I can only do what I'm doing. So just send that email and let's make it happen, okay?
All right, Elder.
All right, my brother, I'll be looking for that email. Can you put that pause?
Lawyer, don't forget, man. You were blessed by the best. His name is Ahia.
Oh, yeah.
All praises. All praises to the Most High.
Bless you.
All right. Bless you, brother.
All right. Stay strong, my brothers.
Stay strong.
Likewise. Shalom.
One love.
One thing I can tell you about New York, man, they run at a different pace. They don't even know it. And if it's in righteousness, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, man, it's the world can't deal with it. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, one thing about New York that you can't take away from them that they are workers. New York, they've always been that way because they had only the strong survives in New York. That song about New York, that when the rap game first began, it's because only the strong survived there. But they move at another pace. Okay, and you can't sleep on that because when it's time to get something done, it's less talking and it's more moving and shaking. And I've learned that dealing with New Yorkers opposed to everyone else in the earth, it's less talk and actually more work. So I'm definitely going to talk with that brother. Let's go.
All right.
Yes. Let's do two more. I said two more, but hopefully two more and that's it.
All right. We have 719, last four digits,
Yeah.
7069.
Seven one nine area code.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, God. Oh, praise to the Most High. I just wanted to say Shalom. My name is Servant Brother Wyatt from Colorado. And I've been baptized with the church for about 5 years now.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say I love you, brothers, and I just wanted to thank you for everything, man. Like, it was profound what the brother said as far as the you guys' importance. Man, I structured my life around this truth, man. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to call and tell you guys I love you. And I was here in the Colorado body when we had the little mishap, and I've been following online since the split. And
hey, brother, let me tell you, brother, there have never been a split. Okay. Because what we find is some of these guys who set up themselves in our absence while we were overseas, they were never with the church. They sought an opportunity in our absence to heap souls to themselves. Okay, there ain't no split. You can't have six guys in a bottle of wine and saying they split from the Gathering of Christ Church. Okay, it don't work that way. All right. All right. We just thank the Most High that we understood who was trying to represent us in our absence. When we came back, we knew eventually that the house would be clean in a lot of these different areas where people were operating while we were overseas, using our name to heap souls to themselves. But now, what does it come to over there? goose egg, like it usually does. Okay? But don't worry about it. We'll be there. So get his number so we can call him so he'll know the place we'll be gathering there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have his number, have his contact
And
information.
I believe Elder Lawyer.
Yeah.
He has my number already because we've been in contact through text, and he's called me. And
Oh yeah, we got your number. Yeah, we have it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Link
All right.
me up with Doctrine and things like that. But I love you, brothers, man, and that's pretty much what I want to say. But I'm always working, and I never get a chance to call in on the Wednesdays and things of that nature. So I'm off this Shabbat, and that's a blessing. And I just wanted to talk to you, brothers, and say stay blessed. And man, we here, we ready to do what we need to do, brother.
Well, thank you, brother, and get ready. It's here.
Absolutely.
All right, last call.
All right, Shalom.
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 All right, last one we have here, 618, last 4 digits, 1025.
Hello?
Shalom, brother. You're live.
Yeah, I've been waiting on there for a while, but I'm in southern Illinois, and I'm closest city I'm to is St. Louis. Is about maybe a little bit over an hour north, and I don't know what y'all have around these ways.
Okay, how close are you to Chicago?
Say what?
How close are you to Chicago?
Chicago, probably like 3.5, 4 hours.
Okay. You said you're closer to St. Louis.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I believe we have a body actually in St. Louis. So let me get your name, brother.
It's Jamal.
Brother Jamal. All right. We have your number here. We'll make sure we put you in contact with the brethren over in St. Louis.
All right, thanks.
No problem, brother.
All right.
All right. Shalom.
One more. That's it.
All right. We have 949, last 4 digits, 2026.
Let me say this because I think someone asked about Daniel's 11 concerning the land of Moab. When you break down this prophecy, it's actually talking about the nations whom Rome, the fourth beast, would actually take over before the end. So if somebody using that scripture to say that you can escape into that land, they don't even, I don't know how they can get that from that. It's talking about people that will be taken over through the war. Okay? They tell you the children of Lot are going to be destroyed. Okay? That's what's going to happen there. So anybody in Jordan, get ready for the heat. It's coming. Get out of there. If you're in Israel, the land of Israel, get out of there. That 6 million they was talking about was a future prophecy of sacrifices they're going to give up before Europe is running things. So you can go over there if you want in that land. But it's going to be burned to a crisp, according to prophecy. So, only reason I'm focusing on these people who say in Jordan and all that, because they are purposely targeting those who they know are listening to the church, the Gathering of Christ Church. They're not targeting Christians to say, come over there. They know people who've been following and have respect for the Gathering of Christ Church, know that eventually we're going to be leaving and going to certain areas and trying to capitalize off of that ministry and only targeting those who they know call the true name and are following the church through us. That's why I'm telling you about Jordan and all that, because they are targeted. They even named themselves Gathering. Okay? So all I'm saying is, if it's not coming from us, it's on you if you listen to these people and go over there not realizing they've never been a part of this church. That's on you. And I've had many experiences where people called me after they've made the decisions on their own saying, well, the Most High was working with them a long time. They've been knew that they had to leave and all this other. I can't trump the Most High if you think that's what you need to do. But I know what this Bible says. I've already been all over the world and been to a lot of these different areas. And I'm going to tell you, people are going over there and being left, because they never were with that particular person. They get over there and they just there. So I'm just putting it out there. And then at the end of the day, once they make their choices to do whatever they wanted to do, somehow they turn themselves back upset with us when we warned them not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's next? Last one.
Yes, sir. We have 949, last 4 digits, 2026.
Come on.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to say all praises to the Most High. But I can't believe I'm the last call. I have to talk to you about a personal matter regarding a great evil within the body. And I need to talk to somebody off camera.
Okay, where are you, brother?
I cannot say.
Is he on an anonymous call or?
No, it's the number there.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So you want us to, when this is done, to call this number?
Yeah, if you could call me back at this number, that would be great.
Hold on. I'm not even going to ask you your name because that means you cannot say that either, huh?
I cannot say my name.
Okay. So I have your number. It starts with 949 and it ends in 2026?
Yes.
Okay, I'll call you right after this is done.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, no problem. All right. We just took one more. That was needed, I guess. The Most High wanted me to have that one. Some sad situations is going on there. Now, again, last but not least, we're here. We're in the midst of trouble. Everyone out there are talking about this coronavirus. I'm sure it's a bad cold that's getting rid of those who already have compromised immunity. Like we shown earlier, even though there was hundreds of thousands of people who came down with it, like a cold or a flu, out of billions of people, not even 6,000 people have died of this. Okay? There's probably greater numbers of people that die of the common flu every year than what's going on with this. Not to say it's not a weapon, but it's being used so that they can set up the infrastructure and to stop people from gathering and to reset the whole world's system. That's where we are. All I'm saying in the midst of it is to prepare ourselves by walking away from sin and use this opportunity, since we can't gather and do the things we would normally do anyway, to fall to our knees and pray and get to know the Most High again. Okay? That's the spiritual side of things. Link in with the body if you haven't already to be directed if you don't know, if you don't have direction or are confused concerning direction. That's what shepherds, that's what the Most High have established churches for. Okay? Next, what you can do in the meantime, this is the things you have control over, is to make sure you're not in those streets if 2 weeks from now things don't change and only get worse. Stockpile your house with food and water enough to get you through a few months if necessary. Okay? Make sure before there's a gas run, because that's the next phase usually in this, the gas stations begin to shut down and ration how much oil you can get or gas you can get. Make sure you get yourself some tanks and fill up, get as many of those gas tanks as you can, because your car is useless if no gas is in it or petrol is in it. Put that in a cool, dry place as a reserve to be used in case you need to get somewhere in an emergency. I'm putting it out there now. Usually the phase is food and water, and the next phase is a ration of gasoline. Because once they shut down the roads, No new trucks are going to be coming to fill up those gas stations. Like no new trucks is going to be coming to fill up your supermarkets. We're in the midst of trouble, midst of prophecy, and guess what? There's no need to fear if you are prepared. With that, I'm going to say shalom. Stay prayed up. Sin not. We will soon see Zion. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer. Wish you all Godspeed. You stay safe out there and watch your surroundings. Shalom.
Shalom. Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yeshaya,
Yeshaya,
our Father,
which art in
heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done
on earth,
as
it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day
our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not to temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
Amen.
Amen. Ahaya Bashim Yeshaya Baruch, please send forth your Holy Spirit and guide the children, your elect, your righteous. Guide them to your glorious light and protect our people in this time of trouble. Protect us from the wiles of the devils and all the conspiracies that are planned against us from this day going forth. And Lord, judge the Gentiles and the Gentile nations and the Gentile armies for their imposition that have always been against your people. Help us in this time of trouble. We thank you for your tender mercy, and we thank you for that sacrifice, and we will acknowledge your Son next week, who shed his blood on Calvary for the sins of this nation. In the name of Ahaya Bashim Yeshaya Thawada Thumyan Amen.
Amen.
Shalom. Stay strong.
Shalom.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.